cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EXIT25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code EXIT25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code EXIT25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Let the madness begin.
Cooper will lead the break. To the right, Proctor to lay it in.
We're on the road with the ACC Tournament.
Back up top, Brown will launch. Bang!
All the hoops action will be heard here.
Cooper on the left has a drive. Good night! A two-hand stop.
The road to San Antonio is driven by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, and First Horizon Bank. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Which of us, detective, do you suspect is the millionaire?
The evidence is everywhere. Your diamond necklace, Monty's new yacht, and the butler's new convertible. Admit it, you're all Maximilian scratch-off winners.
Of course we are. With 25 prizes of $1 million, you could be too.
New Maximilian from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why? It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
Hey, daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
It's bow time.
Finally, lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
Ooh, with the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries.
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can. And it's bow time.
There's no time like Bojangler time. Time to stop whatever you're doing and head over to Bojangles to try the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. You heard right, the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. A perfectly seasoned, light, flaky, wild-caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich. For limited time at participating Bojangles. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Thanks. Got my seat cushion, crossword puzzle, and oh, can't forget the hand sanitizer. Okay, show me the waiting room.
No need for all that. You can stay in your car.
I'll stay in my car? Get out.
Yep, you stay in. It'll just be 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Get out.
Go ahead, sit back and relax.
Well, I guess I'll save all this for the DMV. If only they took 10 minutes, am I right? I'm sorry.
Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Smart homes, virtual assistants, and AI. Imagine what the next 10 years will bring. At Lumos, we have. With 100% fiber internet built for the future, you're ready for whatever comes next. Plans start at $50 per month. Learn more at lumosfiber.com/next.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Now they'll come up with a steal, and here comes a chance. Fresh Jarvis and Aho. Here comes Jarvis. He gets a shot. He scores! Short-handed! Seth Jarvis is red hot. His third goal in 3 games. 4th shorty of the year. And the Canes go up 1-0. Now Martinook will try it. His backhand gets through and he scores! After all that, a backhander from Jordan Martinook. Eludes Vasilevsky, and it's 2-0 Carolina. All right, now coming back the other way. Here comes Carolina. Set Roslovic, they score! A beautiful pass from Taylor Hall. And the 20th of the year from Jack Roslovic. And number 96 lights the lamp for Carolina. It's 3-0 late in the second. Canes win this draw. All the way back. Walker working with it. He scores! Stahl wins it clean. And Sean Walker, 41 games without erase that. It's 4-1 Carolina on his third of the season. What a snipe.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria is here.
And I love opens like that.
It sounded like the beginning of the podcast.
I know. It was a long open, but it was full of great things.
It's good. It was an
full
exciting
of great
game.
things.
Exciting game last night. It was it was fun.
Oh, it almost feels like the cancer has left.
Oh wow. We're going a little further than I would go there. Hope everybody is having a good day. If you are a Hurricanes fan, you probably had a good morning, good evening, good night, all of that.
Is it? I mean, daylight saving time got me feeling some type of way, so maybe. Or the pollen. I don't know. Or all of it.
Yeah, you know what I'm not adjusting to because we have to take Jack to school early. His the bell is, I think, 7:20.
Oh.
And, yeah, I mean, that's not that uncommon, but it takes us about between 25 and 30 minutes to get there. Mm-hmm. So, generally, we leave at, like, between 6:30 or 6:40, roughly in there. And it's still very dark.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah.
So, I'm not cool with that.
No.
Why can't we have light all the time? Seriously, that's what I want. I want light all the time. But we don't get that, and we'll have to live with it. Yes, good win for the Hurricanes last night. We had some craziness at the ACC Tournament as well. And I believe our own, if you're a sports fan, I think something that was reported yesterday, that probably happened a couple of days prior, but something that was reported yesterday is likely a reminder of our overall mortality.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we went there.
Yeah, no. Look, there's a lot to discuss. Today is also the 5th anniversary of something. We're going to talk about it pretty much right away. Let's go. I'm not going to start with the 5th anniversary, but I'm going to bring up. We do have an anniversary to talk about here in the first hour. First of all, we'll start about our own mortality. Tiger Woods had surgery for a ruptured Achilles. And I don't believe he got hurt playing indoor golf. But that's basically the golf he has been playing.
Wow.
In that TGL made for ESPN Monday, Tuesday, afternoon, evening, golf, team golf, whatever, television show. Which, depending on the particulars and the competitive nature of the match, can be fun. I don't think it's capturing an audience that isn't already interested in watching golf. Because it is kind of odd. It is a little bit like going to, Top Golf or a Drive Shack or a place like that. Mm-hmm. Right? Those are the places that people are more comfortable with, more familiar with. But we have now a burgeoning group of golf simulators where you can go to, like, I know there's one in Cary called X Golf.
Yep.
Actually, I'll say this up front just so everybody understands. I believe they're going to start advertising either in this show or whatever. And they have they're a golf simulator. Mm-hmm. We know that there are places where you can go, like, I think they build them like an indoor country club where you can go and, just play golf.
There's a gun range out towards where I live that they have a golf simulator in the gun range. I know, right? Who would have thought?
Talk about a shotgun start.
There we go. This is the show of greatness.
My
People are
gosh, that
missing
was awful. So I've been watching a little bit, trying to watch when Tiger plays because I'm that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiger got hurt, I believe, doing some high-intensity training. I don't know if he's doing it to get back on the... he's not going to play PGA Tour golf, but the Masters is in a couple of weeks. We know he wanted to play there. That ain't going to happen. So anyway, I heard Clinton Yates was on before us on ESPN Radio. And I heard Clinton Yates talking about, or answering the question, have we seen the last of Tiger Woods? Why is it so hard to admit that we have?
Yeah.
At least the last of Tiger Woods in any possible competitive environment. He might play Masters between now and the time he officially hangs it up. He might play U.S. Opens or Open Championships. U.S. Open, probably not. Open Championships until he's 60. He's eligible. PGA, I think, also until he's 60 because he is eligible. And if he can walk around a golf course, I think he's going to play him.
Yeah.
But he's got no chance, zero chance to be competitive, even in a venue where you don't necessarily have to be super long, or is flat, that isn't hard, like many Open Championship courses. There's Seaside Links courses. Those are not, in general, those are not hard walks. The Masters is an impossible walk for somebody who nearly had his foot amputated, 2 years ago?
Right. Not good.
Right. That's not happening.
No.
Most of the PGA Championship courses have enough, uneven, hilly terrain where it is not really possible. So that's not going to happen. The truth of the matter is that he can't play enough to actually be anything close to good enough to threaten even get a sniff of, potentially being near the lead on a weekend. He just can't play enough. You have to be able to play. The only caveat I'll make to this is that he's about 2.5 years away from the PGA Tour champions. I think he turned 47 in December. So he's about 2.5 years away from that. And maybe he can play using a cart.
Yeah.
Literally, I know it's going to sound weird, but he just can't walk 5.5 miles and play around a golf anymore. Can't do it.
Is that a sting for a professional golfer to use a golf cart?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. There are still guys who are capable of walking on the Champions Tour who do walk. Because I'm sure they feel like they play better than when they ride. When I was younger and trying to spend less money in playing, before everybody took a cart, you would save yourself like $10 to $15 a round of golf by walking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just used to it. Always found I played better. That doesn't really matter what I think anyway. But I think if Tiger wants to compete, he could do so on the Champions Tour using a cart. But that's assuming he doesn't hurt something else. I just want to point this out before we're done with talking about Tiger Woods, because honestly, it is sad. It is sad for those of us who enjoyed watching him do his thing more than watching any other athlete at any time doing their thing. And I am in that boat. There was never a more compelling athlete for me to watch than Tiger Woods. He just can't physically do what he used to do. And watching him just kind of be meh.
Yeah, it's not good.
It hurts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me feel like I'm washed. And yes, I know I am. I am all the way washed.
No one wants to see their heroes go out like that.
It makes me in many ways sad.
Mm-hmm.
So allow me to watch all of the Tiger Woods highlights on Golf Channel as we get closer to majors. When they have, golf's greatest rounds, I'm sure we'll have a Tiger week too, where we'll have the greatest things the Tiger's ever done. I'll watch all of those and try to drag my son in to watch and say, watch this now.
Right.
Because you don't know from this. All you know are these guys you like, and that's cool, but you don't know from this, because this was unlike anything you have ever seen. But Achilles, boom, done. All right. There's other golf stuff to talk about. We'll talk about it later. All right. To the way we opened the show, Hurricanes last night. And then we're going to get into the ACC tournament, which is, we're about to, actually, I could put it on. Because Georgia Tech and Virginia for the right to get beat by 40 by Duke tomorrow.
Right.
Who doesn't want that right? All right, so the Canes beat Tampa last night 4-1. And I think it was just another game where I think we saw what the Hurricanes can be. Wasn't always great. Tampa's legit good, and Tampa had plenty of opportunities to score in the first period and a half.
Yes.
Somehow they got a power play right away.
So many power plays.
Well, no, they only had one. The Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes.
By the way, for people who follow me on Twitter, you've seen this, or if you follow me on Blue Sky, you've seen me post this. I have a stat that is mind-blowing that I will give you in a minute.
Oof.
I mean, seriously, it's one of the most... It will make you laugh and cry.
Yeah, say one of those.
I promise.
Not a great one.
But Carolina was, even though Tampa's great and that power play lived in Carolina's zone for a minute 44, and even had the puck in the zone after that, somehow it went the other way. You heard the shorthanded goal. We'll get to that. The last 30-some-odd minutes of this game were, to me, as I said last night, very Canesy. It was about good goaltending. Hat tip to Pyotr Kochetkov, who was great last night.
He had to stand on his head half the time.
Yeah, he was really, really good. But it was also watching Jacob Slavin do his thing. Everybody on defense, I thought, played very well last night. So there was a lot of good things, and Rod Brindamore talked about the defensive effort.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we could do a lot better, but I mean, against, like you said, that's a special group out there, and our goalie played really well. Coach was dynamite, really, but we didn't give up a heck of a lot, and when we did, he was there, so that was the difference in the game.
Didn't give up a heck of a lot the last 30 minutes. Hurricanes had the puck for the lion's share of the last 30 minutes. In the first 30 minutes, there was a lot. Mm-hmm. Kochetkov was great. I think Tampa helped out a little bit. Braden Point missed the net on what should have been a goal. I'm surprised that it wasn't a goal from Braden Point. And again, I thought Carolina made some desperation plays defensively around their net that were really good. A lot of that was Slavin probably saved 2 or 3 goals last night. Sebastian Aho, I thought, had a back check at one point. I guess back check's not really the right term for what I'm talking about. But he made a play on the slot on which likely would have been a goal. There were tons of
Despair was sliding all over the place too.
Sliding and then laying there yes. and not moving.
Yes.
And whoever had the puck for Tampa was like, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
And so he just shoveled the puck into Despair.
Right.
All right, well, that's good. That works for us. All right, so we all know what's been going on, right? For the Hurricanes.
I think I've heard it.
Right? We know. I mean, they had they were holding Mikko Rantanen hostage.
Yes.
And he wanted out.
He hated it.
Right.
He's not a barbecue fan.
We're kind of overplaying this for a little bit
Hates
for giggles. Yeah, he does. Hates
best.
He likes mustard-based barbecue. Which,
What's wrong
come
with
on,
you?
Stop. So
doesn't put the cart back.
No, he doesn't. He definitely doesn't.
He leaves it to his agent, and the agent just leaves it in the parking lot.
Speaking of his agent, his agent did an interview. Like, okay, it's probably best that everybody just keeps quiet at this point. But in the locker room after the game, Jarvis was asked about the mood.
You guys just had a pretty distracting couple weeks with the trade deadline. Now you guys have your team. You've got 2 notable additions this past week. How would you describe the sentiment of the team right now post-deadline?
Yeah, I think one word would be together. I think that's been kind of the motto since this whole thing's been going down. Just sticking together, no matter what the outside people are saying, what the analysts, you guys are saying about us. We know what we have in this locker room, and we're super excited. And if anyone saw last game, I think the new additions are fitting in pretty well.
They are. Jankowski and Stankoven did not score, but to me, they were noticeable on the ice. Jarvis is amazing. And I'll just say this, and then we'll move on to hoops. We could have 45 more games this year. I'm kind of roughly ballparking it. 17 more in the regular season. If you can play, you get as many as maximum of 28 in the postseason. That would be 45 more games. I will make this promise. The Carolina Hurricanes will not score a better goal than Seth Jarvis scored last night. No chance to get a better goal than what Jarvis scored last night, shorthanded. Now here is your stat, and then we will move on to basketball. Since the calendar turned to 2025, the Hurricanes have 6 power play goals. They have 6 goals shorthanded. That ain't the stat. The Hurricanes have those 6 power play goals in 81 tries at a clip of 7.4%. Their 6 shorthanded goals have come in 75 opportunities. They score at a higher rate shorthanded than on the power play, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. On one hand, that's awesome.
Right.
And on the other hand, it's,
what are we doing?
How is that even possible?
Yeah.
So I am choosing to take a comical look at it and just laugh.
Right.
I'm going to say I'm confident. I'm not 100% sure. I am confident, he says, that the power play will self-correct, much like the goaltending appears to have self-corrected.
Yes.
And maybe the blue line, too, has appeared to have self-corrected.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it's bad.
Everything looked so good last night. They were fast. They were gritty. I mean, the passing, once they get their chemistry and, all that working together, I'm so excited for it. But those power plays, everyone that ticked by that we didn't score, I thought, ooh.
So in the third period, they had back-to-back power plays. And when it was over, this was what I tweeted. Hurricanes killed off back-to-back power plays, which included 59 seconds of 5-on-3. And
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, of course, it was their own power play.
Yeah.
But they killed it off nonetheless. Impressive.
Right?
Shake my head. Yeah, it's just, I can't. I need to move on.
Make it make sense.
I need to move on. All right, we have ACC Tournament Day 2. Georgia Tech, Virginia. I got to put the game on in front of me. They are game 1. North Carolina will play Notre Dame. Do you have Jeff Capel for after the game? All right, we're going to get to this here right now. North Carolina will play Notre Dame. They played earlier this year in South Bend. Carolina was kind of lucky to win. Either way, they're going to have to win this game today. Notre Dame won in a fashion that is embarrassing to the ACC, I think. It was 54-54. Notre Dame had the ball right before the buzzer, took an off-balance shot, missed. On the offensive rebound, the putback was also missed, and they made up a foul. That's the only thing I could come up with. We just invented a foul out of nowhere. There was not enough contact for anything to be called at all at any point in the game. This is not at that time. No, it's not a foul anytime. I don't know. I don't know these officials. I'm sure people who pay more attention to this do. Tony Henderson, Jeff Pond, Tommy Morrison. I believe those were the 3 officials. I don't know who called it. Whoever called it, somebody should have gone, are you freaking kidding me?
Did you mean that?
Because in a tie game, you just ended the game with a phantom call. Here's Jeff Capel, the Pitt coach, whose team lost because of it after the game.
Really hated the way that it ended. I've been coaching for 25 years. The worst way I've ever seen to end a ball game in my 25 years of doing this. I still can't believe it. Shocked at how it ended for us. My guys played hard. We fought, put ourselves in a position to win. Unfortunately, we came up short.
That's about as classy as you're going to get. I mean, it was a terrible, terrible, terrible call. Cal won their game over Virginia Tech. Syracuse beat Florida State, so Cal plays Stanford the second round of the ACC tournament. Cal and Stanford. You can't make that up. Syracuse and SMU will be the other game tonight. All right. North Carolina will play Notre Dame. What does UNC need? And keep in mind this. They've got one win versus the field. One win. They've got whatever their record is. They've played 30-some-odd games. Only one of their wins is against teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament right now. It is possible that American could end up winning the Patriot League. I think they're in the Patriot League. And if they do, that would give Carolina 2 wins against the field. But it doesn't count if you beat a team that is likely going to be in the first 4. So, meaning an automatic qualifier that's going to be in the first 4. You don't get credit for that. So, not only do they have only one win versus a team in the field, they've got just 6 against the top 100 right now. That's it. 6 of their, 20 wins are against, or 21, whatever it is, against the top 100. That's it. They have no proof that they're good, even though I believe that they're good. And I've said this over and over and over again. I think if they got in, they could win some games. I stand by that. But, man, they have no proof that they're good. This game against Notre Dame today would be a 7th win against the top 100. Of course, Notre Dame is 99th, so I'm assuming they'll stay in the top 100. If Carolina wins this game and Notre Dame goes to 101, then Carolina will lose one of their top 100 games already. They'd be down to 5. Wake would represent another. Wake is the 4th seed. And oh, by the way, I've heard this. It doesn't matter that Wake got a double bye. They don't have a resume either. That's what this league is. This league has provided its teams with nothing this year because the league did nothing apart from really 2 teams, but we'll count Louisville as well, in the non-conference. Only Duke and Clemson did anything significant outside of the league. And Clemson only did a little bit. But I believe we have 3 good NCAA tournament teams and a team that probably won't make it, but is also good in UNC. And if UNC were to win these 2 games, beat Notre Dame today, which they should, if they were to beat Wake Forest tomorrow, which, by the way, would also be a 2:30 game, which I'm not even going to say they should. I'll just say I think they will. But I don't know if should matters. If they were to go 2-0, it ain't enough. It's not even close to enough. And I'm not even sure that beating Duke is enough. It certainly puts them back in the conversation. What I said a long time ago was that if Carolina could win all of the games that weren't Duke, I think it would give them a 50-50 chance. That might have been optimistic. But I was counting on one of those wins or maybe 2 of those wins being against teams that were at least in the top 50. And that ain't happening. Because the next team Carolina will play that is inside the top 50 is named Duke. And Duke is not here to do anything other than prove a point.
Mm-hmm. Win.
That's what they are here. They're not here to make friends, man. They are not here to do you a solid by not coming to play. They are here to earn everything. They want to collect it all. So, I also, very quickly, I don't think the conference tournament games mean as much as you think in terms of standalone games. Basically, I think if you're inside the cut line, I don't think anything you do at the NCAA tournament, at your conference tournament level, I don't really think it changes the calculus. And if you're outside the cut line, I really don't think it changes it that much either. If North Carolina doesn't win the ACC tournament, I don't think they're going. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do enough to make me wrong because I want to see them in. But I don't think they will be.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, we have a 1-year anniversary for sports wagering in the state of North Carolina. We'll discuss that next.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Let the madness begin.
Move it down low, gets the bucket and draws the foul.
We're on the road with the ACC Tournament.
R.J. Davis triple, count it! Oh, yeah.
All the hoops action will be heard here.
Withers, a 3 for the lead, yes!
The road to San Antonio is driven by WakeMed, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. March is crazy. I could say mad, but I won't. I already did. And now in March, we've got the dog of the day from FanDuel encouraging you to take a chance on some upsets with a profit boost token. So already you have value because you're taking an underdog, and now we're just going to juice it just a little bit. By the way, Syracuse and J.J. Starling, plus 315 against SMU. That could happen. JJ's a baller. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Download America's #1 sports book today. Back your dog of the day with a profit boost. Do it now. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Wager of at least plus 100 odds required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling. We do the job right every time.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling is celebrating 51 years of trusted service. And to celebrate, get a furnace tune-up for just $51. That's peace of mind heating for only $51. Visit MitchellHVAC.com. Mitchell Heating and Cooling. Quality products and services on time from a family you trust. It's hard to stop a train.
Hey, Greater Triangle area. Chick-fil-A wants to invite you to enjoy an iced tea on us in the Chick-fil-A app. Join us this week, March 10th to the 15th, to get your reward for a free iced tea by downloading or signing into your Chick-fil-A app with location services on in the Greater Triangle area. Redeem when you order through the Chick-fil-A app at a participating Greater Triangle area Chick-fil-A restaurant from open to close. Offer subject to availability. Rewards are single use only. Limit 1 per person per Chick-fil-A 1 account. See further details in the app.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 16617. 781. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint. Let's trade
lives.
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone, any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
This is Adam Gold.
80-second mark, I scream in the booth. I screamed in the booth. Why the heck is he still on the ice?
Did you say it in Finnish?
I should have.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. He curses in English.
He does.
All right, 2 seconds later, he scored.
Yes.
And I went, oh, that's why. That's what.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria is producing this program. 1 year ago today, then Governor Roy Cooper placed his first legal wager on a game here in North Carolina. I assume it was a Hurricanes game. It might have been a UNC basketball game. I don't know because I'm a big Tar Heel fan. I don't remember the wager, but I remember that we made a big deal out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's the same Roy Cooper that's got some stingers about the Miko situation.
Oh yeah, I have not followed that, but
it's hilarious.
I know he does. He is a huge Caniac. I have actually been to games with the former governor when he was the Attorney General. Occasionally, I would go with him to a game. Anyway. That was my ability to name drop. Right now, we are 1 year into this whole scenario. Brad Senkiw, who's the news editor at Covers.com, if you as much as people think, but I don't know, or maybe more than what people think. But it has been good for the state of North Carolina. But as with everything, there are certain, downsides to it. And yes, there are people that have dealt with gambling addiction. And we always try to encourage you to, back away if you feel like you're getting in too deep. Don't chase your losses ever. Look at it as entertainment. Only wager what you can afford to lose. All of those things. Here's what I like to do. I like to place emotional hedge bets like I did yesterday by taking Paris Saint-Germain to advance to the Champions League, even though I'm a Liverpool fan. So, I feel like a little bit better, even though Liverpool got bounced from the competition yesterday. All right, we've got Brad Senkiw, his news editor, Covers.com, who joins us now on the Adam Gold Show. 1 year anniversary of sports wagering in North Carolina, and you live in the state, correct?
I'm actually right across the border. I live in South Carolina, but I'm very, very close to North Carolina.
All right, we won't hold that against you, Brad. I appreciate your time. So how has it gone, do you think? We have, I'm sure there are a lot of people within the state that either love it or hate it. How do you think it has gone in North Carolina over the first 365 days?
Yeah, Adam, I would classify it as a rousing success. I think North Carolina, the way they went about integrating sports betting into the state, the way they went about regulating it, creating the necessary resources to get it in place, the way they worked with the operators like FanDuel and DraftKings and BetMGM and all of those 8 who came into the state, the way it all went, I think North Carolina did it and launched it and then had success after about as well as you could ask for. I mean, I think there haven't been a whole lot of issues. I've covered the state on a regular basis with, what's going on since, legislation was being passed, a year and a half ago or whatever now. So it really has been done the right way. And I think North Carolina maybe leaves kind of a blueprint for some other states when they do get it. I know Missouri just legalized it in this past November during election season, and they're probably going to look to North Carolina, like North Carolina looked to some other states to say, hey, how did you do it? What was the right way to handle this, and this? I think North Carolina is a model for the way that states handle and introduce sports betting, and then the response, the amount of people that have wagered, the amount of dollars that have wagered. You're talking about $6.6 billion has been bet in the state of North Carolina since last March 11th. It's pretty crazy.
In terms of the models in other places, because obviously North Carolina was at least a year, I think in some cases 2 or 3 years behind other states, has that number generally increased or stayed pretty constant?
Oh, it's definitely increased. And you look at North Carolina, $6.6 billion. That's on par over the last 12 months with, say, like a Michigan or a Maryland. Not quite to the degree of, say, a Massachusetts, which is a state I think is comparable, because I think Massachusetts has the pro passion the way that North Carolina has the collegiate passion for sports.
Right.
But you look at Massachusetts, they introduced sports betting in 2023 at the same time period that North Carolina did it a year later. Right. They did it in March of 2023. They went from right at $5 billion generated in handle to $7.4 billion the next year. That's a pretty big leap when you go from 5 to 7.4. So I think, and that's been kind of constant across the U.S. with these legal jurisdictions, that you've seen those kind of jumps. So I anticipate North Carolina for that to continue. And, these sports books, they're going to continue to invest in the state. The promotional spending that they give out, the bonus bets as they call them, those fluctuate as you go throughout a year. But I don't see any reason that you're going to see DraftKings or FanDuel or whoever shy away from doing that and trying to build their business consistently within that state.
Brad Senkiw, news editor, Covers.com, is joining us on the Adam Gold Show. Obviously it has been good, and the tax revenue to the state has been good. I don't know how that ranks in terms of other states. What is North Carolina's got about what like a little less than $130 million in tax revenue in year one. How does that compare? I don't even know if you know that, but how does that compare across the many states that have it?
Yeah, $128 million. I think it's a little higher projection than what they were first expecting. I think they were hoping for like $100 million, maybe between 80 and 100 million. I remember when Kentucky was setting theirs up and they were saying, hey, let's hope we get to 30 or 40 million. Then all of a sudden they had 70 million in tax revenue. Like it's funny. Like each state seems to put these kind of low projections on it and they surpass it quickly. I think North Carolina's in the same boat in that, but their tax rate is not as high as some other states. Now they're obviously not generating the handle that you have in a New York or a Pennsylvania, the amount of money that's wagered. But still, I think it's a fair tax rate, and that's actually become a very controversial topic in the sports betting industry right now. Is some states like Illinois and some of these others are looking at really raising theirs even higher. Now, Illinois already did raise theirs, but there's Massachusetts and some other states are saying, hey, Ohio saying, hey, let's bump it up another 5 or 10%, maybe even 20% more. And North Carolina's kind of staying right there at that 18% rate, which I think is probably a good idea for the state for the time being.
And that is a tax rate that is paid by the proprietor, not by the customer, correct?
Correct. That is correct. That is what after they subtract some things like promotional bets given out, they subtract. Well, some states make you include that, but they take out deductions and different federal taxes they have to pay and all that kind of thing. Whatever's left over of their revenue, their adjusted revenue, the 18% comes from that, goes to the state.
All right, Brad Senkiw, who's with Covers.com, he is the news editor. So there has been some controversy, and I just want to, I know people have pushed back, well, we shouldn't have like player prop bets. Like you shouldn't be able to bet on a college basketball player to score more than 12 points or something like that. Is that something that can be eliminated from the equation? Is that really a problem? Would that damage the amount that people wager? Obviously, these are all fun bets. People wouldn't bet them, otherwise. Is that a problem? And would it be possible to eliminate them?
Pretty loaded question, Adam. So let me try to address it in a couple different ways. One, it depends on who you talk to. Now, are operators or sportsbooks going to tell you that they need those prop betting offerings to generate their revenue? Yes, they are. They're going to tell you that. Now, I think maybe they over-exaggerate maybe some of the estimations of the effects it has in their revenue. I understand that there are, you got the Jonte Porter case that happened in the NBA last year where he was banned for manipulating his playing time, had to pay off some gambling debts. And you've seen some college teams get into some issues here, reportedly. Several schools are being looked at by the NCAA and a federal investigation. I think that these are small potatoes in a big world right now. Do I think that this is an issue that we need to be paying attention to? Absolutely, 100%. But I don't think that we're seeing necessarily the number of suspicious activity in match fixing and game manipulation then we need to just run out and change the whole landscape. As this continues to develop, I think regulators are very good about catching these things. I think that if we did not have legal sports betting, some of the Jonte Porter stuff probably goes under the radar longer, maybe occurs more often. He got caught after a couple games.
Yeah.
Some of these college teams are getting caught after a couple of games. Adam, this is not a sustained thing where they're doing it for 2 and 3 and 4 seasons and they're just making millions off of it themselves. It's getting caught and identified quickly. If it continues to rise, do I think they need to step in and maybe do something? Potentially, but that's going to be based on the leagues. That's going to be based on the NCAA, the NBA, those folks. I don't think the sports books are going to step in and start eliminating the offering of those props.
And I just want to, we'll probably have to close on this. And I've been arguing this for a long time, long before it was legal in the state of North Carolina, and that we need the legal wagering. We need the legal to stop the illegal, the game fixing and all of that, because aren't the legal books, aren't they the safety net to protect everybody?
They really are, because if they don't and they get caught, they lose their license and their entire business.
Right.
So they have a stake in making sure that things are being done the proper way, and that we don't have match fixing those companies going on, because they don't want to lose their license. And look, they work with these leagues, Adam. DraftKings has deals with the NBA, FanDuel, you name it. They work with these leagues on a regular basis, and no one wants to risk the idea that something's being manipulated and that these games are being fixed in any manner whatsoever. So they want it out in the open. They've come forward when this has happened, and they hire and spend a lot of money on integrity firms that monitor these things on a daily basis, not just every once in a while, consistently.
Before we say goodbye to Brad Senkiw, news editor, covers.com, and a happy 1-year anniversary to the state of North Carolina, how many states still don't have it?
Right now, there's 39 states that have legalized it. 38 are operating. So you've still got several holdouts. Now, it looks like Mississippi, they've had in-person betting, just not online. It looks like they're trying to change that. This legislative go-round, I don't know that anybody else is going to pass anything. A lot of folks are still waiting on California and Texas to do something, but they're probably years away from that happening. So, yeah, it's still an evolving business, but I tell you, it has slowed down a lot over the last probably 18 months.
California and Texas, man, that's another country. That's 2 countries, California and Texas. They're bigger than countries. Incredible. Before I say goodbye, is there anything that you want to say about the 1 year that I haven't gotten to before we have to let you go?
I did want to mention that the tax revenue, you've got a lot of money that is going to help collegiate sports, youth sports. I remember I talked to some legislatures when this first all happened a year ago. One of the reasons that they were able to sell it and get it passed was because it is helping a lot of communities in some positive ways.
Well, there you go. We love when that money helps. Brad Senkiw, covers.com, at Brad Senkiw on Twitter. I appreciate your time, sir. Hopefully we can talk again.
Sounds good, Adam. Anytime. Take care.
You got it. Brad Senkiw. Oh, happy anniversary. All right. When we come back, we've got one-timers. Still haven't talked to you about a 5-year anniversary. That is not exactly the most pleasant ever, but we'll talk about that. But we also have one-timers. If you want to jump in, YouTube.com/Adam Gold Adam Gold Show or /999 The Fan.
You can tweet at me. I already have one from my Twitters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go. Same here, but I'm not paying attention. Victoria is the one who pays attention to that. So you've got an opportunity to ask any question you like, and one-timer's next.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and we've got a new thing for you. It's called the Dog of the Day Profit Boost Token. My favorite things. One of the best parts about the tourney is when an underdog takes down a powerhouse. And right now, those upsets get even better because if your dog wins, you land even more winnings with a profit boost. This is your chance to ride with the long shots, the scrappy teams, the underdogs. There's no need to fear. All right, you understand what I'm talking about. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Dog of the Day. Profit Boost. Glorious. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Wager of at least +100 odds required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable Profit Boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Your background may not include agriculture, but 2 years at the Agricultural Institute will prepare you for a career in it. Whether you are a military veteran with an arsenal of skills, kickstarting your second career, or about to graduate high school, the Agricultural Institute at NC State University is the right place for you. Nurture your passion and find your career. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. Deadline for fall enrollment is June 1st. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
Did you know, along with keeping their local communities powered, public power line workers are part of a mutual aid network spanning the state and country? Public power crews help their neighbors when natural disasters damage electric systems. And that mutual aid network is one of the reasons public power has the highest reliability rating among energy providers, forming a camaraderie among line workers that's second to none. Interested in joining public power? Learn more about careers at electricities.com.
From the mountains to the coast, there is tremendous pride in North Carolina agriculture. NC Forever Farms is a program recognizing family farms that are protecting precious working lands vital to the future of agriculture. Through permanent agricultural conservation easements, these NC Forever Farms will always be protected from development. Learn more about preserving family farms through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services by visiting ncadfp.org.
Dear North Carolina, for 70 incredible years, you've been by our side. From Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood to the wonders of Antiques Roadshow, from This Old House to NC Weekend, we've explored, learned, and grown together. Because of your support, PBS North Carolina has gone beyond the screen, inspiring, educating, and entertaining in classrooms, at home, and on the go. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
Going to college gives you more career options. You could say it pays for itself, but it might not feel that way in the short term, especially when tuitions do. That's where the FAFSA comes in. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. It's your gateway to money for college, whether you're seeking scholarships, grants, work-study programs, or loans. It all starts with the FAFSA. So how about it? Make a plan for college and find everything you need for the FAFSA at cfnc.org.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is looking for people age 21 or older to volunteer in long-term care facilities. Community Advisory Committee volunteers help residents and their families advocate for the needs of individuals living in long-term care facilities, such as nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and family care homes. Volunteers must complete orientation and training to become designated and certified representatives of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. Visit ncdhhs.gov/aging to find your county's ombudsman.
This is Adam Gold.
Did you see what Duke is paying the quarterback that they pulled out of the portal from Tulane?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. 2-year deal, $4 million per.
Oh, wow.
Per. So.
Do they want a quarterback named Victoria?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Chip Patterson next hour. Halftime, ACC Tournament, 8-9 game, 25-25, Virginia and Georgia Tech. Kill me. Just kill me. All right, let's get right to it. One-timers.
Okay, so going to my Twitter, if you have it and you want to tweet at me, it's V to the Victoria with some underscores in there.
Yes.
But this one's from Chuck, and he said a couple of days ago, you mentioned Lavelle Moten maybe being NC State's next coach. They said, why do you think Lavelle isn't getting mentions for this search, or at least a little bit more in the search?
Because he's not a candidate. The only people who are in the conversation are people who have been pushed as candidates by insiders, and you can use as many air quotes as you want there. Don't care. I'm not being disparaging. That there are people whose job it is to dig out such information. It is not my job. I simply offered Lavelle Moten as an option because, A, he's local, he is Raleigh, and he is a damn good basketball coach with winning history. Now, the reason why he won't get hired or wouldn't get hired or isn't of interest to people varies. It varies from the unsavory to the, well, they haven't won anything in 4 years or whatever it is. And I'm like, you're right. But he didn't forget how to win. So he has built a very good program at North Carolina Central. Again, he is a Raleigh person. I think he'd be a great choice, but I also don't think for a single second that he's even going to get an interview.
Yeah, great person, too. I know. So this one kind of combines Justin and Brandon from the YouTube stream. So it's about Svech and whether he's coming back now. Brandon specifically asked if Svech is out for a while, do we keep playing Jost or get a young gun to come up and get some reps in?
All depends on, because I've talked about this, it all depends on what Rod Brindamore feels like he needs. If they need scoring punch, then yeah, I mean, I think they'll probably give Bradley Nadeau, who is their next best prospect right now, who's in the American Hockey League, that they'll probably give him a shout. But he's like a lot of the players that they've got. He's a little guy. He's got a great shot, and he's scoring a bunch of goals right now in the American League, and that's a great league. And it's in many ways representative of what he's going to deal with in the NHL. You're playing against grown men in that league. They're just not as good as the grown men you're playing against here, but they are grown men. So I think it is a fair indicator of whether or not somebody is ready. And right now, Bradley Nadeau is, I mean, he's scoring a bunch of goals over the last month and a half, 2 months. So it all depends on how long they figure Andre's going to be out. If it's only another couple of games, and they probably ride with who they've got, that's Tyson Jost as the guy to draw in. But if they feel like it's going to be longer, it's probably a good idea for them to bring up Nadeau because he might be able to add some offense, and they clearly need some offense.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this one is from Ricky. He asks, so who will win the Players this weekend?
My answer to all of the questions is going to be Rory McIlroy. And maybe I'm just trying to wish it into existence, but my answer will always be Rory McIlroy.
Okay, that was my Jarvie bet that worked yesterday.
There you go. I am very, very pro Rory. Colin Morikawa is a good bet. I also think I wouldn't pick him this week, but if you're thinking ahead a couple of weeks of the first major of the year, Russell Henley's pretty good.
From the heels.
Touchdown, Carolina.
To the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You've been to all those fancy driving range experiences, but you need closer to the real thing. Adam Gold here. What you need is X Golf in Cary. High-end simulator play. Food, drinks, fun, maybe even a date night, even serious competition. Buddy of mine plays in a league there, and he loves it. Memberships are available, all levels of player, all ages. North Carolina's premier indoor golf experience, and there is a PGA professional on site. Online, playxgolf.com/Cary. Playxgolf.com/Cary.
Tired of wandering the aisles of those big box stores, struggling to find the help you need? At Home Outlet, we do things differently. First, we guarantee the lowest price on kitchens, baths, floors, and more. Find it cheaper somewhere else? We'll beat it by 10%. Second, we're employee owned. Yep, the folks helping you design your dream kitchen actually own the place. You're not just another customer to us. You're the customer. So why deal with the other stores? Break up with the big box and upgrade to Home Outlet. Find a location near you at homeoutlet.com.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
When you get the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime you work out. And now through March 13th, get your first month free when you join. You heard that right. Conquer the stair climber with your partner in climb. Enjoy a post-workout recovery session in the hydro massage. And do it all again with access to any of our 2,700 convenient locations. So, you coming? Get your first month free and all the perks with the PF Black Card for just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends March 13th. See Club for details.
It's bow time.
Finally, lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
With the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries.
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can.
It's bow time.
There's no time like Bojangler time. Time to stop whatever you're doing and head over to Bojangles to try the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. You heard right, the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. A perfectly seasoned, light, flaky, wild-caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich. For limited time at participating Bojangles. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $119 and take $20 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com and say you want the $99.9 The Fan special.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single, seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things homeownership. Rocket. Own the dream.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Over to RJ. High screen from Lubin. Duke switches it this time as Withers has a tough pass, tough catch by Lubin down low. Gets the bucket and draws the foul. RJ Davis dribbling on the perimeter. He's just going to force up a mile-long three and switch it home. Now flag guarded by RJ Davis trying to get a position down low, but Lubin steals the entry pass. Here comes Carolina. They can take their first lead with a bucket. RJ Davis clearly feeling it, but he gets it to Withers. A three for the lead. Yes!
This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's here, producing the program. Chip Patterson in about 15 minutes. Those were happier times for UNC.
Yeah.
And it went the other way against Duke. Hopefully they will take care of business against Notre Dame today, because the only shot they've got is to keep winning.
Yes.
Keep winning. I was listening to, by the way, we're on YouTube, youtube.com/Adam Gold Show or /999 The Fan. You can find us either way. And I was listening to a podcast that's done by John Oran from now Puck News. John comes on every once in a while, and he's a sports media guy. And his podcast is, I think, incredibly interesting, and I try to catch every episode. And just I was listening to one this morning, and he was talking about expanding the NCAA tournament to involve every team in, of the 350 some odd teams there are in college basketball. And he talked about it in such a way that actually made me go, it's interesting. Talked about it basically as an FA Cup style event where you've got a lot of the lower schools that are involved in earlier rounds, and then the big schools don't get involved into the third round. And it's essentially would go on throughout the season, which is interesting. But I don't think that's what America and American college basketball fans want. I also don't think American college basketball fans want any more teams in. But if you have been paying attention to anything involving college sports, the only thing that matters is, can we get more money for doing this? If the answer is no with college basketball, and that very well could be the answer, then we won't get more teams. Nobody is doing anything that isn't going to bring them more revenue. Nobody's signing off on that. But if they believe they can get more money by expanding to 156 teams, they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't pretend, I keep telling people, don't pretend that they won't do it. I love Mike DeCourcy, and he's right, 100% right. There's no justification for doing it. But if they believe it's going to mean $2 more to them, they're going to do it. Because college sports is dying for more revenue streams, even if it will kill them in the process. They just want more money. They don't care how they acquire it. So as long as it means $1, they're going to go after that dollar. Mm-hmm. That is a sad state of affairs in college sports, but that's where we are, not just in college sports, in sports in general. Hey, and when you're paying your coach $13 million a year,
oh yeah,
you got to find revenue streams somewhere. I thought it was the NFL that you were supposed to go to make that kind of change.
I know, or the NBA.
Right.
That's really where they're making money.
100%. So, yeah, I think Dan Lanning at Oregon just went over that mark. Or now that's the going rate. And if you're an elite coach, you're making, in college, you're making 12 some odd million, which the whole house settlement and how they're going to deal with that cracks me up. Absolutely cracks me up. Again, Chip Patterson will join us in just a little bit. Let me spend essentially 2 minutes here on the 5th anniversary. And we'll talk about this as we run it back. This is our second take of the news of the day. 5 years ago today, we stopped everything. Everything. It was genuinely one of the saddest days in American history.
For sure.
I mean, the world just stopped.
It was scary.
And we had no idea how long it was going to stop for.
No. A lot of people thought it was 2 weeks. It wasn't.
Right.
It started for 2 weeks.
Right.
Oh, just 2 weeks.
Right. We're gonna pause for 2 weeks. Shelter in place for 2 weeks.
Right.
Go into your underground bunker for 2 weeks.
People were having fun with blanket forts. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's a vacation.
Eat out of a can for like whatever. Yeah. And it went on for like a year. I will never forget. And we were at the ACC Tournament 5 years ago. And it was the day of I guess it was the Tuesday or the Wednesday. I think it was the day of the Wednesday of the ACC Tournament. It's one of the two. John Swafford was still the commissioner. And Swafford was holding a State of the ACC press conference, or just a press conference. And we had already seen NBA games canceled. Not all. They had not shut down yet. And there was a game between Utah and whoever Utah was playing where they stopped it because Rudy Gobert tested positive. And we still didn't really know just how damaging this was all going to be. We had no idea. We just knew that it was spreading like crazy. It was highly contagious. And I remember all of the online models for, you pass this one person and this person passes, and it's just all of a sudden.
It's like a weird family tree.
Holy mackerel. We go from nothing to everybody's got it. Look,
right. And you don't know you have it until it's too late kind of thing.
And that's what I asked John Swafford that day. When he said, I asked him if there were considerations to cancel the ACC tournament. And this is before they did so. And he said, no, we have had nobody test positive yet. And my question was, well, isn't it too late at that point? And I got pushback from Commissioner Swafford, and I don't hold it against anybody because nobody knew anything. There has never been a group of people who wanted to know more, were smart enough to know more, but just we had no information. Everybody was flying by the seat of their pants. Everybody. And we played a day. I think we played the afternoon sessions, the 2 afternoon games as normal. And then they made the decision to play the evening games with no fans. Right? But they were planning on coming back Thursday morning or Thursday noon and playing out the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
And in fact, we were supposed to, like, the ACC treats the media very well. There was a hospitality session on Wednesday night that was ultimately canceled. I think it was canceled. Either way. My son was actually going to be a volunteer.
Oh.
My older son was going to be a volunteer. He was still in college at the time in Greensboro. That's where the tournament was. Anyway, the next day they decided to shut it down. And I remember we were going to do the show from 10 to noon in Greensboro. And they made the decision to pull the plug on the event. And we had to hustle back from Greensboro to here to be on the air at noon. We were going to go on the air live at noon. And nobody knew anything. But that day was the day everything stopped. The Carolina Hurricanes were supposed to play a game in New Jersey that day. And I remember, and I have no problem saying who because it's well after the fact now, I remember texting Justin Williams. Remember, Justin had wasn't sure he was going to play and didn't start his comeback until like late into November. And then the long ramp up, and he finally started playing like in late January, early February. They were on the ground. They had just gotten into New Jersey. Or actually, no, they were in New Jersey the day before. They had played in Detroit on a Tuesday. They were supposed to play in New Jersey on a Thursday, and I texted Justin that morning, and I said, any idea what's going on today? And his response was, we've just loaded all of our equipment back onto the bus, if that tells you anything. And I went, well, that tells me everything.
It does.
The Hurricanes will not play tonight. And the announcement came not too long after that the NHL was pausing the season. The NBA had paused the season. Major League Baseball was in spring training. And everything shut down. They were going to play it was the Players' Championship week, like it is this week, right? The Players' Championship played Thursday, right? And then they were like, this is dumb, and stopped. Canceled the event. The Big East Tournament played a half of a basketball game on Thursday. They played the first half and went, this is dumb.
Never mind.
And pulled the plug. And I'm not this is not criticizing anybody. We had no idea. We were everybody was trying to do the right thing. Everybody, most people, trying to do the right thing. We just had no idea. How many millions of people, I don't know how many millions, more than 1 million people died from this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the flu. No, it wasn't just the flu. It was worse than that. Okay? And a lot of people stayed alive because of the precautions that ultimately were taken. And when the vaccine finally became available, treatments finally became more honed in, we kind of figured it out. But nobody did everything right. I think, for the most part, people tried to do the best they could. But today was the day it all shut down. And for, 2 months? Mid-April, mid-May, 3 months. We had nothing.
Yeah.
There were no games.
Nope.
No games at all.
And coincidentally, the Michael Jordan documentary came out.
Right. In many ways, do you know who you have to thank for that?
Who's that?
Lavelle Moten.
Oh, nice. Well, thanks,
Right?
Lavelle, because that helped me get my sports fix.
We all did.
Yeah.
We watched 2 episodes a week.
Yeah, we did.
Right? We all did. Man, that was a time, man. And this show began during the shutdown.
It's a crazy time to start something new.
It is, and I will tell you this, and then we'll break. Chip Patterson on the other side. I know that there are a lot of people who do this that, for whatever reason, dreaded doing this. And for some people who did it, they didn't have to do it, right? Some people were furloughed. We had a lot of people furloughed, including at this company. It was one of the most interesting times in my entire career. You just have to be able to find the interesting parts of all of this. One industry that was severely damaged, minor league baseball.
Yeah, big time.
Ravaged because they are 100% a gate.
Yeah.
We need people walking through, coming into our stadiums,
buying the hot dogs,
silly food,
yep,
playing silly. We need that.
Yep.
Didn't have it.
Mm-mm.
Unbelievable. 5 years ago today,
I know.
it all shut down.
It doesn't feel like it's been. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Time is weird.
Yeah, Aileen owns a salon,
Which also has impacted huge, like restaurants.
She was one of the first people that were sent home.
Yeah.
One of the first people.
Can't be around people.
Right.
Can't cut their hair.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And people had grew out the hair like crazy. I did.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, no, I didn't. All right, Chip Patterson on the other side. We've already eaten into Chip's time. He's mad. Next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Let the madness begin.
Cooper will lead the break. To the right, Proctor to lay it in.
We're on the road with the ACC Tournament.
Back up top, Brown will launch. Bang!
All the hoops action will be heard here.
Cooper on the left has a drive. Good night! A two-hand stop!
The road to San Antonio is driven by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, and First Horizon Bank. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Time is running out, folks. I need you to go to caniacsbike.com. Dennis Cox here for the Law Tigers. The Carolina Hurricanes, Law Tigers, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, and Shiny Side Paint are all teaming up once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Simple to enter. Go to caniacsbike.com. Sign-ups last until April 6th. The bike will be given away on the final home game of the season. caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Which of us, detective, do you suspect is the millionaire?
The evidence is everywhere. Your diamond necklace, Monty's new yacht, and the butler's new convertible. Admit it, you're all Maximilian scratch-off winners.
Of course we are. With 25 prizes of $1 million, you could be too.
New Maximilian from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Dugout Tavern and Grill is the #1 sports bar in Apex and your March Hoops headquarters. Stars of our games, fill out a bracket to win big prizes from New Belgium Brewing, $5 Modelo on game days, daily drink specials, and late night buy one get one half off appetizers. We've got a 16-foot video wall and over 30 other big screen 4K TVs inside and out with state-of-the-art sound always on, so you can catch all the hoops action at the Dugout, 1413 Kelly Road, Apex, and the DugoutTavern.com.
Global Golf is Carolina's largest pre-owned golf store. March 14th and 15th, you're invited to the two-day sidewalk sale. This Friday and Saturday, don't miss huge deals like drivers starting at $50, name brand apparel starting at $25, shoes starting at $40, and golf bags of all kinds starting at $50. You're invited to the Global Golf Retail Store Sidewalk Sale, located on 7320 ACC Boulevard, North Raleigh. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Everything for the exterior of your home, but it's also everything for the peace of mind of the customer. Talk to me about the trust factor and everything else that you guys offer.
I got to tell you, I think one of the biggest things for us is we don't take any payment from you for any of your home improvement needs until we're done with the project. I hear stories all the time about people putting down deposits with companies, 25, 50% of the project total overall, and they don't even know, they don't show up.
Right.
You've lost whatever percentage you put down, that's how much power you lost already. Right? So with us, you pay nothing until we're done. Typically we're not the least expensive, and we're certainly not the most expensive. You get 3 or 4 estimates, we're going to fall right there in the middle. But, you're going to have a warranty that's lifetime, transferable for 10 years on any of the products we sell typically. And we've been around since 1961. You can trust us. We've been around forever.
It is about trust, and I think you guys are the most trustworthy business that I know. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Your heart. It's the only one you have. Fortunately, you also have a choice. Expert cardiologists, talented surgeons, highly skilled specialists, all of whom chose WakeMed. Why? The main reason is the same reason patients choose WakeMed. Everything you need for the best possible care is right here. Learn more at wakemed.org. WakeMed Heart and Vascular Physicians. Your heart, your choice.
Gold. Gold.
So I was reading an article about the 10 oddest Guinness World Records, and the thing that caught my eye was most skips by a cat in 1 minute. This woman has a jump rope and is skipping with her cat. Okay, I have got a cat, and let me just tell you, the skipping alone would cost this, but swinging a jump rope anywhere near my sweet kitty Carol, she'd be gone for like 5 days.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria is here. Virginia, Georgia Tech setting basketball back in the 8-9 game of the ACC tournament. I kid. Actually, I'm sure it's a fine basketball game. Georgia Tech leads it 35-33. We are 14.5 to go in the second half. Winner of this game gets crushed by Duke tomorrow, also at noon. Chip Patterson joins us every Wednesday. Here he is, without the benefit of video. Breaks my heart. But he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. You're locked into Virginia, Georgia Tech, are you not?
I'm locked into it all, Adam, because we actually on Thursday and Friday are going to be having conference tournament sweats live stream 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. from here in South Florida in the sauna. If you go over to the Sportsline YouTube channel, you can watch us be able to constantly be firing off live bets, live analysis. And so, yeah, I mean, all of the live action is what is it, Hubert Davis? It's live action down here. So, yeah, I'm dialed into it.
Wait a second. Please tell me that you're actually going to be in a sauna.
Listen, with the intensity that's going to be inside that room, they cannot climate control it as intense as it's going to get from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on the Sportsline YouTube channel.
Because if it's going to be a sauna, I am going to watch all 2 hours. Chip Patterson is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I was listening to a conversation about what North Carolina has to do, and I'm not asking you to put on your Jerry Palm hat here.
You know better than that.
I know, exactly. It just seems to me that even if it's over Duke, I just don't think one game is going to be enough. I think they've got to win 4. No?
I don't. And I honestly think there is even a path that exists for win against Notre Dame, win against Wake Forest, lose to Duke, and still find yourself as the very last team in the NCAA tournament playing out in Dayton. Now, some of that is going to start later today, because what you would basically need is you would need one-and-done showing from Ohio State, a one-and-done showing from Baylor, a one-and-done showing from Xavier. If all of these other teams fail to do anything, and then you are able to string together a couple of wins, then, yeah, it is possible that the selection committee, in a process that is subjective, could end up looking at all of these flawed resumes and decide that North Carolina, with not a lot bad outside of the Stanford home loss, does deserve a crack at it. Again, there's nothing that is glorious, and they're not going to hang a banner in the Smith Center about the NCAA tournament appearance in the first 4. But, yeah, I think that a win against Duke does put them over the edge because it separates them from these other tournament teams. Oh, West Virginia, if they were to go
– to win that game. Doesn't even matter. Carolina won it. That's good. Chip Patterson is here on the Adam Gold Show. I want to make this very clear. I want North Carolina to be in the field. I believe they're good enough to be in the field. If you were asking me, is North Carolina good enough to be an NCAA tournament team, I would say absolutely they are. Do they deserve it is another matter. They can't prove that they belong in because they didn't win any of these games. They won one game against Team in the Field. Here's my argument in favor of Xavier, and again, I want North Carolina to be in. Xavier's won at least 3, maybe 4 games against teams that will be in the field, which is something North Carolina can't say even if they beat Notre Dame today, even if they beat Wake Forest tomorrow. They just beat Creighton. They're going to be in. They beat Connecticut. They're going to be in. They beat Marquette. They're going to be in. And one of those wins was away from home. So I like these teams, while they're all flawed, they have all accomplished more than UNC. And again, I am here for North Carolina getting in any way they can get in. I just think that the draw fell poorly for them. If they could have gotten a game against SMU in a 4-5 game, or a game against Louisville or Clemson or both before Duke, and won those games, I think that would matter. But they're going to have played, if they played Duke, I think they would have played 8 games against teams that are seeded either 1 or 2 in the NCAA tournament. And they're not going to win any of those. And that's unfair to them because they played a better schedule than basically everybody in this field. To me, that would be the argument is that, man, why did you do that? They played tight with Florida, right? They played overtime or double overtime with Michigan State. What was it? They had been in these games. They just didn't win any of them. But, again, I hope they get in. I have a hard time making an argument for them. Let me ask you one quick thing. Chip Patterson is joining us here. We had the NIL hearing the other day, and I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty, but I've said this steadfastly about this entire issue. The worst group of people in the world to set policy, to hold hearings, are the people on Capitol Hill who say things like this. It was a Chris McIntosh, who's the AD at Wisconsin, who was apparently a football player at one point, argued against an employee model in college. And he referred to when he was cut from the NFL or fired for being injured. He talked about that issue. Does he understand that he was playing in a system that had a collective bargaining agreement? Like, why don't they understand their own industry? And why doesn't anybody, and I guess the point is, why doesn't anybody in Capitol Hill understand this industry? And maybe that's why the NCAA keeps going back to them.
So I cannot explain the merits of the argument as well as I can propose what I think that this plays out, or the way that some believe or are hoping this plays out, because there is, with the way that things went in November, there is a belief that something that is not going to be very pro-employee, that is not going to be very pro-player,
right,
can get pushed forward right now. That whether it's antitrust exemptions, whether it's an NIL bill, whether it's some sort of superseding federal law, I just think that there's a sense within a certain camp of college sports administrators that now's the time to be able to push it forward. And so in the same way that people who are big fans of deregulation think that this is green light go time, I think that those who are motivated to continue to strip power away from college athletes and put a cap on their earning ability, I think that they think that now's the time to do it. And so what they say, the context of their quotes in these hearings just is kind of filler to try to reach what they hope is the end goal. And the end goal is some sort of salary cap, whether it's per player or whether it's per team or per school, something that would be viewed by a judge as anti-competitive, some kind of antitrust exemption. All of these things are sort of the motivating factors for all of the stuff that's happening on Capitol Hill regarding college sports right now. And I find myself kind of a little bit turned off by trying to follow it all.
Yeah.
But I understand why it is happening this way.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, because it does appear that now is the time to take advantage of people. I think that is exactly what is going on. All right, let me get to a couple of football things, and then I want picks from you today.
Okay.
I mean, just straight up, we got basketball. We got Carolina, Notre Dame coming up. Do you have a sense of where UNC football is right now in terms of recruiting? Their coaching staff is all set. Do you have a sense of where North Carolina is in terms of a roster?
Well, I mean, they've got to put names and numbers on the jerseys for us to figure it out.
No, they're going to play without names and numbers this year.
Right. Yeah. No, I loved. I'm appreciative of the efforts that are being done, by those who cover the team, who are there, because you're seeing the video of spring practice and the parts that the media is allowed to take, and I just hear the commentary in the background. Like, I think I heard Shelby Swanson's voice. Like, okay, that's JJ. Okay, that like at least they are so dialed in that they are going to be able to identify, who these players are to get a sense of, how the position groups are stacking up. We obviously saw Max Johnson throwing on the sideline, though he will be limited as he continues to recover from breaking his leg at the very beginning of last season.
Right.
I think that from a roster perspective, this is a North Carolina football team that has enough, and this is at the top end. They have enough to be able to be competitive in almost every single game on their schedule. Where they are lacking is in two areas. They are lacking the competitive depth to be able to sustain that level through multiple injuries. It is very, very much I like your 22, but when we start to get to the backups in a couple of these position groups, that's where I've got some questions. And then number two, not being on the same level as the best teams on their schedule. Clemson Tigers are the ones you're going to point to. There's so much uncertainty among the rest of the ACC. I can't say who the best is going to be on their schedule behind Clemson if we were to rank the opponents.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel more confident in 3, 4, 5, maybe even a half dozen ACC teams in terms of the overall roster talent and roster depth. And so, what do I have a handle on from North Carolina? North Carolina should be a bowl team. North Carolina should be, somewhere in that 6, 7, 8 spot in the ACC, which historically is making a bowl game. You might be playing in the Fenway Bowl again, but it is a group where I think the expectation should be a postseason appearance, and where anything less than that would be a big-time disappointment, especially with Bill Belichick as your head coach.
And by the way, speaking of Bill Belichick, and we had referenced the political climate, I guess, earlier. According to a piece I read from Tom Fornelli, your friend, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, very much involved in Belichick eventually ending up at North Carolina. All right, which ACC teams are poised to improve, dramatically or otherwise, this upcoming season, sir?
Florida State.
Well, yes, they should. Gosh, they were so bad. Anything would be an improvement.
Yeah, you asked. I was like,
right?
Dramatically or otherwise, that would be the former and not the latter. I'm expecting dramatic improvement from the first ever 17th place team in ACC football history.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I am
poetry,
expecting that. I am expecting that we are going to see a lot of status quo because of the era that we are in. The ACC teams that are spending, evaluating, the ones that stand out to me are your SMU and your Louisville, right? These are teams that have mostly been built with the portal, with good head coaches who have had success, who have lost some guys, but also gone right back to the portal to continue to spend, to continue to reload. My expectation is that Louisville and SMU, the ACC runner-up from each of the last 2 years, are going to be holding some of those positions. What I don't see, and the real big question, is whether we're going to see a step forward from Virginia Tech, which absolutely failed to take the step forward that many thought might be coming in the 2024 season. What we don't know is if we're going to get, anyone else from, like your Georgia Tech, a team that's going to bring back a lot. They always have a really difficult schedule, kind of feel like they're destined for that sort of 7-8 win mark with both Haynes King and the rookie from this past year, both back at quarterback and some other key players. Are they going to be able to take a step forward, maybe be a little bit of a dark horse? I mean, I don't think Jake Dickert is going to have Wake Forest knocking on the door of anything huge this past season. I think Duke might actually take a step back from a great debut for Manny Diaz. I'm not expecting NC State to be able to level up and crack that top crew. I mean, it is very much the programs in the ACC that had their act together going into last year, for the most part, have their act together again, and it's created a little bit of a caste system in the conference where breaking through and jumping up a level is going to take some real spending, some real investment, and an infusion of talent. And I don't know if there's one ACC team that stands out as one that has done that this offseason.
Chip Patterson, CBSSports.com Cover 3 podcast moderator. You'll be on a live stream, or is it CBS Sports HQ?
Well, all right. So let's see. Here's what we've got so far today. So today we were already on from 11 to 12 CBS Sports HQ, 12:40 CBS Sports HQ. Be on 3:35 CBS Sports HQ, CBS Sports Network at 4:50, CBS Sports Network at 5:20, CBS Sports HQ at 6. So all that's either HQ or CBS Sports Network.
Wow.
Something similar tomorrow. I know we'll also have John Henson joining me in studio for the 11 o'clock hour. But it'll just be like wall-to-wall reaction coverage on CBS Sports HQ, some CBS Sports Network in the afternoon. But then, yes, the live stream, which will be on YouTube from 3:30 to 5:30 on the Sportsline YouTube channel. That is CBS Sports' gambling outfit. So it will be a lot of parlays, spreads, live bets, totals, all the sicko stuff. If you're into that kind of thing, come and join us on the Sportsline YouTube channel.
All right, give me I have a couple more basketball things, then we'll let Chip Patterson go. North Carolina, Notre Dame. Tar Heels by, well, I haven't even seen a line. My inclination is I don't care what it is, give it.
Yeah, and, I mean, Notre Dame winning on a free throw in a –
what a gift.
This ACC tournament's setting basketball back. You know, if you were, it was what, the double overtime game between two teams that couldn't hit a three-pointer.
Yeah.
A 55-54 game that was decided on a free throw with 0.5 seconds left. I mean, it's
awful.
It's all been pretty ugly. So I'm expecting that we'll have a little bit more juice when the Tar Heels take the floor with hopefully an offensive performance that resembles what they've shown with better three-point shooting and most importantly, better offensive rebounding. I'd lay the starchy number. So at 6.5, 7.5, I think they can win that game by double digits.
Oh, I think they have to win that. I think they have to cruise. They at least have to dominate teams that they should beat handily. And Notre Dame is a team they should dominate, especially the way they have played. I still believe they need more than just a win over Duke. I have a hard time believing they get in without beating Duke altogether. They've needed another, I hate to say it, another quad one win. Oklahoma, Georgia is an interesting game tonight. I think both teams can make very strong arguments to be in regardless, but they are also both in somewhat shaky ground because, unfortunately, the SEC is loaded and there's a lot of good teams with bad records.
I'm going to take Oklahoma plus the 3.5. Georgia did what it needed to do, coming down the stretch to put itself in a pretty good position. But I actually think that Porter Moser's Sooners, which, remember, started really good in non-conference play, got absolutely buried at the beginning of the SEC schedule, but have found their footing a little bit to at least have a chance. I like them plus the 3.5 there against the Bulldogs.
All right, one final basketball thing, and then I'm going to ask you for one more pick, and then we'll go. How is it possible? Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, two of the best players coming out of high school, both went to Rutgers. Rutgers is bad. I only bring that up because John Shire did not get ACC Coach of the Year because I know he's got a great team and he's got Cooper Flagg, and I know Pat Kelsey, I guess Louisville surprised people, although whatever. Because they were so bad last year that I know they have an entirely new roster of players in a very, very weak ACC. I know they went 18-2, but I'm not like head over heels over the moon about it. Who would you have voted for? Because I voted for Shire.
Oh,
I like Kelsey. I think Kelsey did a great job.
Yeah, and Kelsey brings it, rebooted that roster, right? He
totally overturned.
Totally wholesale. You're bringing in some of your guys from the mid-major level. You're able to pick up Chucky Hepburn and be able to put him in as such a key piece. I don't have as much Shire outrage because I think Kelsey was a good pick. And
he's deserving, right? I agree that he is
right.
deserving. I am just kind of amazed. It just seems like we're not giving credit for, like, getting Duke to play at the level that Duke has played at is hard because they know going into every game that they should win comfortably, and they have exceeded that. But it's almost like you couldn't set the line low enough for Iowa to not still play under in football. Right?
Like you couldn't set the line high enough for Duke to not cover.
Exactly. You just couldn't do it. And I don't think I think Duke is going to lay waste to the competition in Charlotte anyway. Who's winning the Players' Championship, Chip?
Ludwig. Everybody thinks that you don't need that like Scotty Scheffler said, you cannot play robot golf at Sawgrass. The dirty secret about Ludwig is while everything seems like it's robotic, he actually does have some gamer to him. So give me Ludwig. It is players who are in form who win. There's not one style that is better than anything else. It's just who's playing good right now. It's what makes it such a great test of golf. I'll take over to win it.
I love it. Chip Patterson, enjoy all of your hits on CBS Sports HQ and CBS Sports Network, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. Y'all be well.
Chip Patterson here. We covered everything. I also like Oberg. Part of me wants to wait for the Masters, but there's 2 weeks in between, and I also love Ludwig Oberg here. All right, we're going to break. We'll come back. We have to stretch. We're going to place bets, all sorts of things. We might have a Players' Championship pick because the Players' Championship starts tomorrow. Also, not that you can really wager on this, but how long until Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau are playing the PGA Tour? If I told you the answer might be like never, I wonder how many people would take that bet. Anyway, we'll come back on Stretch next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here for my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and we've got a new thing for you. It's called the Dog of the Day Profit Boost Token. My favorite things. One of the best parts about the tourney is when an underdog takes down a powerhouse. And right now, those upsets get even better because if your dog wins, you land even more winnings with a profit boost. This is your chance to ride with the long shots, the scrappy teams, the underdogs. There's no need to fear. All right, you understand what I'm talking about. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Dog of the Day. Profit Boost. Glorious. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Wager of at least plus 100 odds required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable Profit Boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Are you looking for a 2-year hands-on agricultural degree while still gaining the university experience? I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University. We offer 6 associate's degrees that span the agricultural industry and set our students up to meet their goals. Come live on campus, learn on our farms, and be a part of the NC State community. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. Deadline for fall enrollment is June 1st. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
Did you know, along with keeping their local communities powered, public power line workers are part of a mutual aid network spanning the state and country? Public power crews help their neighbors when natural disasters damage electric systems. And that mutual aid network is one of the reasons public power has the highest reliability rating among energy providers, forming a camaraderie among line workers that's second to none. Interested in joining public power? Learn more about careers at electricities.com.
From the mountains to the coast, there is tremendous pride in North Carolina agriculture. NC Forever Farms is a program recognizing family farms that are protecting precious working lands vital to the future of agriculture. Through permanent agricultural conservation easements, these NC Forever Farms will always be protected from development. Learn more about preserving family farms through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services by visiting ncadfp.org.
Dear North Carolina, for 70 incredible years, you've been by our side. From Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood to the wonders of Antiques Roadshow, from This Old House to NC Weekend, we've explored, learned, and grown together. Because of your support, PBS North Carolina has gone beyond the screen, inspiring, educating, and entertaining in classrooms, at home, and on the go. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
Going to college gives you more career options. You could say it pays for itself, but it might not feel that way in the short term, especially when tuitions do. That's where the FAFSA comes in. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. It's your gateway to money for college. Whether you're seeking scholarships, grants, work-study programs, or loans, it all starts with the FAFSA. So how about it? Make a plan for college and find everything you need for the FAFSA at cfnc.org.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is looking for people age 21 or older to volunteer in long-term care facilities. Community Advisory Committee volunteers help residents and their families advocate for the needs of individuals living in long-term care facilities, such as nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and family care homes. Volunteers must complete orientation and training to become designated and certified representatives of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. Visit ncdhhs.gov/aging to find your county's ombudsman.
Gold. Gold.
Some of the best trades ever made are the ones you don't make. Again, I'm sure that there are tons of stories like that.
Kind of like a relationship. Sometimes the best ones are the ones that you didn't go out with, like that person that you tried to, and then you see them 10 years later and you're like, ooh, dodged a bullet.
So you sound like you've been there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria is here. You had Seth Jarvis yesterday? Anytime goal score?
Yeah, plus 175.
It's fantastic.
I didn't have real units.
You should have always have real units on it.
I know. Then they won't win.
Yes, I did have the emotional hedge win yesterday with PSG advancing past Liverpool.
There you go.
Yeah, well, not great, but I was rooting against me.
Oh, well,
But
yeah.
it's fine.
I had those bets too.
That's why we call it an emotional hedge. It takes the edge off the loss.
Right.
All right, let's stretch.
Oh, man, definitely need to stretch today. So, I don't know if you would try this. This is just weird foods. You mentioned, like, weird baseball foods, minor leagues. Sometimes they'll do some crazy, like, food concoctions and stuff. Well, the University of Miami baseball stadium recently added a new milkshake to their menu.
Okay.
And this is
I'm leery of this.
disgusting. Yes, you should absolutely run the other direction for this one because it is combining. Okay, well, first let me tell you why they're doing this. That way maybe it'll make more sense even though it doesn't make sense. So what they like to do is make milkshakes for different places that come to their stadium. So, for instance, this chef had made a lobster milkshake when Maine visited.
No.
He made a cannoli milkshake, which delicious.
That
sounds
makes
delicious
sense.
for New Jersey. So that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Now, Villanova's baseball team was in town recently, and so you want to guess what he might have made for Villanova's milkshake?
A Philly cheesesteak milkshake.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I'm not sure. I actually think the lobster milkshake is worse.
Yeah, it's all bad. Yeah,
But
all bad.
it's close.
Yeah, it's wow. So, and yes, there's really like cheesesteak in it. So in this milkshake, they have combined Philly cheesesteak, vanilla ice cream, and I don't know why they put this in, but Cheese Whiz.
Well, no, that's the whole whiz wit.
I know,
right.
but just the vanilla ice cream of it all.
An authentic Philly cheesesteak. There are two. Is Cheese Whiz.
I know how you feel about certain cheeses, and that is in the same category, I'm sure, with the other cheese.
It's liquid fake cheese.
It is like
it's dumb.
Yeah, instead of the block fake cheese.
I mean, American cheese is fake. But
yes.
whatever.
Or Velveeta, the block, the wobbly block.
Like provolone is a good cheese. Just
I
use that.
love
Just use
provolone.
that.
See, that's a go-to for a cheesesteak.
Just use that.
Yeah. So this chef, Mitch from Miami,
So
he's been doing this for 40 years. So obviously, I guess people like something that he's making, but not me. Now, speaking of anniversaries / birthdays here recently, Girl Scouts are celebrating their 113th birthday. So go get you some temptation there. Help out your Girl Scouts.
Cookies.
I never sold any. I wasn't a Girl Scout, so I never sold any cookies.
No,
but
my wife came home with 2 boxes of Thin Mints.
oh, did she? Is that the go-to in the household?
I mean, they're awesome.
Yeah.
There are people that they're a couple of good ones.
Yeah.
I'm not into the ones with the coconut. Tag-alongs,
Yeah,
not me.
yeah.
But the Thin Mints are great.
Yeah, no, not so much. So I don't know. I try to stay away. Try to.
Well, I do too. Then my wife buys them, and
I
then they can't.
know it's difficult. Another thing that was difficult. This is such a cute story I had to share. Oh my goodness. There's video for this too if you want to see it. It's adorable. But a 4-year-old, sometimes they get telephones and they'll call people or they'll do stuff. Well, this one decided to call the cops, and that's not unusual for kids because they like to call cops every now and again. But he called the cops on his mom because she ate his ice cream. And this was in
lobster ice cream?
It was not lobster ice cream, but this was in 20 miles kind of south of Milwaukee. So the whole story in a nutshell, this kid, he calls the cops because his mom ate his ice cream, or he thought that she did. The cops get there. They talk to the mom, and she's like, yeah, he's mad. I ate his ice cream. They get there just to do a welfare check, just in case. Super cute. The kid gets to put his mom in handcuffs just for a second, but he said he didn't want to press any charges, so that's a good thing. And then later on found out that she didn't actually eat his ice cream. There was 2 of them. But I thought this was so cute because the cops came back, gave him more ice cream the next day, and brought sprinkles because he loves it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is too adorable. So look at those good old cops out there. But yeah, make sure your kids, and he actually didn't dial it. He asked Siri to call the cops. So y'all be careful with your kids asking Siri for stuff.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. So yeah, but what is a good idea is to take Jarvie as an anytime goal scorer.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right. I won my emotional hedge. I had PSG to advance. That was plus 275 yesterday. And that was a win. So and we actually put actual units on it.
Nice.
Even better.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, bad. All right, go first.
Bittersweet. Well, my hockey bets tonight. Let's go. Buffalo Sabres are going to be in Detroit taking on the Red Wings. Give me the Red Wings at home to win this one because I believe the Sabres just came off of a big win last night. I will take the under 6.5, and that's plus 205.
All right. We're going to start with the Carolina game. They will take on Notre Dame. We are about, this game is going to end here in a few minutes. Georgia Tech has got a 9-point lead with under 2 minutes to play. So my guess is that North Carolina will start right around 2:30, maybe a shade later. North Carolina minus the 9.5, over 145. That is plus 263.
Nice.
Bank it.
Oh, there you go.
Bank it.
Put it in there. I don't know about this one. I feel like I'm going to go with an underdog here with the Montreal Canadiens are in Seattle taking on the Kraken. This will be a fun game, I think, but give me the underdogs on the road. Canadiens, they're plus 125.
They are. I like the Canadiens a lot tonight. The Montreal won last night. There's nothing in Champions League that I like tonight. So let's go to the National Hockey League. I think that Vancouver is winning in Calgary at plus 125. So give me the Canucks. We might even see the return of Quinn Hughes. All right, Wall of Sound coming up.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You've been to all those fancy driving range experiences, but you need closer to the real thing. Adam Gold here. What you need is X Golf in Cary. High-end simulator play. Food, drinks, fun, maybe even a date night, even serious competition. Buddy of mine plays in a league there, and he loves it. Memberships are available, all levels of player, all ages. North Carolina's premier indoor golf experience, and there is a PGA professional on site. Online, playxgolf.com/Cary. Playxgolf.com/Cary.
So, you found the one and want to get married? Next step, you need the ring. And not just any ring. The perfect engagement sparkle that exemplifies your love. Bailey's Fine Jewelry is here to help. Our diamond experts, wide selection of high-quality diamonds, and financing make saying I do easy. We guarantee you'll love the ring or your money back. You're invited to see why Bailey's has been voted best place to buy your diamonds. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com to find out more.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh, yeah! Big money!
Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
It's time to get that brand new Buick you've been wanting. It's the Buick Savings Event at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. Up to $3,000 in discounts are available on all remaining Buicks. Plus, a GM purchase allowance and 0.9% financing is available for 36 months. All topped off with deferred monthly payments for 90 days. See dealer for full details. Buick, exceptional by design. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $119 and take $20 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com and say you want the $99.9 The Fan special.
Shamrock! Everybody's Irish at Hibernian Pub's St. Patrick's Day celebrations. This year, there's double the Irish with 2 parties.
Come out for a wee drum.
Saturday, March 15th, Hibernian takes over Glenwood South from noon till 9 with live music, Irish dancers, bagpipers, and great food and drinks to celebrate all day. Then Monday, March 17th, there's a live DJ party on North Street next to Hibernian Pub on Glenwood from noon to 9.
Sandra!
Get details at hibernianpub.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Well, there's just no question. In combination with the strength of schedule we played in non-conference and in conference in terms of the top teams in the ACC and playing all of them on the road with the exception of Duke here at home. We played them at their place. I think we're 5th in the ACC, and to win 13 games and to overall already have won 20 games, I'm just really proud of this group.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. It's Hubert Davis lobbying for his team, and do they deserve a spot in the NCAA tournament? For a lot of people, it's a complicated conversation. Really isn't. The real problem for North Carolina is that they overscheduled this team. If they had played a normal schedule, which means don't play 5 of the 8 teams that will be either on the 1 line or the 2 line. Auburn, Duke, Florida, all 1s. Alabama, Michigan State, 2s. North Carolina played all 5 of them. And one of them, they're going to play 3 times likely. So that would be 7 games against teams that have basically kicked everybody's teeth in all year long. I mean, that's how you get to where they are, 1-11 in quad 1 games. And in last year we talked about this, about the ACC isn't as bad as the metrics say, and we really compared it to a league that was not as good as the metrics say, and that's the Big 12. And people say, well, you can't use the NCAA tournament to judge. Like, no, you can. You absolutely can. It doesn't tell you definitively, but it's another tool. And ACC teams over the last several years, it's not just one team that's advanced. Like last year, there were several ACC teams. The year before that, several ACC teams advanced. It's not just one. So, success in the tournament, yes. Can it be fickle? Can losses in the tournament be fickle? Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go in. But if somebody tells you can't use that, no, you absolutely can, because everybody is trying to win. It's different from bowl games. In bowl games, man, you just don't know what rosters look like. You just don't. I remember a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, this is the year before Florida State melted down, the year Florida State was screwed out of a spot in the playoff. Well, all of their NFL talented players who would go on to get drafted, I don't know, like 12 guys, none of them played in the bowl game. And they had about 20 some odd other transfers, and they were already down to their second quarterback. So they basically had nothing play, and people still used that against them. As disingenuous as it is, see, Florida State, like, these are just Florida State's uniforms playing. That's not the team that, went undefeated and won the conference championship, but because their quarterback was out, we decided they were a one-man team. Come on. You can use the NCAA tournament in men's basketball and women's basketball to say, hey, this league was either better than we thought or maybe not quite as good as we thought. That's fair. It's not ironclad proof, but it's a tool to use. This year, I think the ACC had 3 good teams. I believe North Carolina is good, but they can't prove it. All they can do is do the best they can right now, which is beat Notre Dame today, beat Wake Forest tomorrow, and then beat Duke Friday night. The first 2 of those things, I believe they can handle. The third thing, I don't. But I cannot fathom a scenario where they get in without beating Duke. Because all year long they have proven, well, I shouldn't say they have proven, because it would be a contradiction of my statement. When they've come up against teams that are, all the teams they played in non-conference basically are great. Kansas was great at the time. They became ungood. right? But they've got one win over a team that will be in the field. One. That's just not a resume. Wake's not going to be in the field. Notre Dame's not going to be in the field. I wish it was different because I think they're good. I think they can win games. All right, let's do the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, the Hurricanes won last night. A 5-game winning streak, which started prior to the trade deadline. We know everything that's been going on. And has extended against two of the best teams in the league, Winnipeg and Tampa. After the trade deadline, Rod Brindamore was asked about the timing.
I know what we have in there. And, like you said, we're missing 3 pretty heavy guys, and we're still able to grind it out, and I think that's the impressive part of tonight.
Okay, so the 3 players they're missing, Andrei Svechnikov and Dmitry Orlov, did not play last night. William Carrier's been out for a few months, but he also, they think he will be back for the playoffs. So add those 3 elements back into the lineup, and I know people are like, who wants to add Dmitry Orlov back into the lineup? Well, they're hoping that Dmitry Orlov comes back in and isn't the same Dmitry Orlov that was playing like a few weeks ago, which is not good. But they also need Andre to be better than he's been, but they need him in the lineup either way. So those are 3 players that will come in, and then the Hurricanes will have to remove 2 of the forwards from the current group. And that is not going to be an easy decision. Somebody is going to sit out that Rod Brindamore doesn't really want to sit out. All right, Seth Jarvis will never sit out. And after the game on ESPN was asked about, and I think we have the question here too, right? So this is on ESPN. That's where the game was broadcast yesterday. He was asked about the room.
You guys just had a pretty distracting couple weeks with the trade deadline. Now you guys have your team. You've got 2 notable additions this past week. How would you describe the sentiment of the team right now post-deadline?
Yeah, I think one word would be together. I think that's been kind of the motto since this whole thing's been going down. Just sticking together, no matter what the outside people are saying, what the analysts, you guys are saying about us. We know what we have in this locker room, and we're super excited. And if anyone saw last game, I think the new additions are fitting in pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly did against Winnipeg. They didn't hit the score sheet yesterday against Tampa. Jarvis scored, I believe, the goal of the year for Carolina. He is such a complete player.
I know. I don't know. I don't know if some people caught AJ's face after he said that, but yeah.
No, what did?
Because Jarvie was calling them out, and she just, yeah. It's one of those things where it was on her face. She could not hide it. She felt that sting when he was like, you analyst.
Well,
well.
Look, I didn't. I was busy doing the aftermath by this point. I think that the national media, with some exceptions, doesn't really get what's going on here.
Right.
And they don't. I don't even think they should be expected to. You can't dig into what really is going on in every single
it's a lot.
place. So I'm not going to hold anybody, to every statement they make, because they clearly don't really understand. But that's okay. I do think that a lot of this has been mischaracterized. Even the comment that Rod made to me on Sunday, which has gotten all sorts of viral video legs in terms of what did he mean? Why is he calling out the organization? And as I said then and say now, I don't think he was calling out the organization. He was simply pointing out facts to a lot of people. And sometimes the facts are construed as opinions, and they're not. And the organization gets it. There's nothing going on negatively within that organization. Everything seems to be very cool. All right, let's take a quick break. Matt Norlander, CBSSports.com, on not only the end of this college basketball season, but some of the stars, the superstar level players that we have seen in the recent years, and how many are local? We'll talk to Matt and Orlander next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Let the madness begin.
Move it down low, gets the bucket and draws the foul.
We're on the road with the ACC Tournament.
R.J. Davis triple, count it! Oh, yeah.
All the hoops action will be heard here.
Withers, a three for the lead, yes!
The road to San Antonio is driven by WakeMed, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. It is March, and March is all about the upsets. So here's what we have done at FanDuel. A Dog of the Day Profit Boost token is available. I gave you 2 dog winners yesterday, people. Why not do it again? You think Notre Dame's going to beat North Carolina? I don't. Stay away from it. Cal, Stanford? How is that an ACC game? It is. Cal plus 225. It's a rivalry game. I don't know why they're playing us in the East Coast, but they are. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Get a profit boost with your Dog of the Day. Dog of the Day in March is awesome. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Wager of at least plus 100 odds required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
What if, instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you could choose one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon, with big bank reliability and small bank resolve. You get 160 years of financial strength and stability and an enduring commitment to personal service. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank. Visit firsthorizon.com/getitall.
Which of us, detective, do you suspect is the millionaire?
The evidence is everywhere. Your diamond necklace, Monty's new yacht, and the butler's new convertible. Admit it, you're all Maximilian scratch-off winners.
Of course we are. With 25 prizes of $1 million, you could be too.
New Maximilian from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's hockey season, baby. I live and work on both coasts, and here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Every season can be punishing for your roof. Mother Nature is a fierce opponent that doesn't take a break, which is why you need Roofworks on your building maintenance team. Hi, this is Holly from Roofworks. We specialize in keeping your commercial roof in great condition no matter what the issue may be. We offer roof inspections, roof repairs, and if needed, a full roof replacement. We help determine if there's a problem with your roof and advise you on the most cost-effective way to handle it. Contact us today at roofworks.com. That's roofworks.com.
Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too, so we understand what your bike and gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and we don't get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
One Adam Gold.
Was the hug because of the soft, fuzzy thing you're wearing?
It's a comment. I'm a great hugger. People like to hug me. But yes, it's helpful when I'm soft and fuzzy.
Is that a skill?
It may be, yes.
I think it is a skill.
I think it is a skill.
Yeah.
You know who else gives really great hugs? Mike Meniscalco.
Really?
He is one of my favorite huggers. Yes. Every time I see him, he gives the best hugs.
I'm going to try that at the next home game.
Do it.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. I saw Mike last night. He was not interested in hugging.
Oh, no. Not in a hugging mood.
It was a radio-only game, and we shared the booth.
Yeah,
So
I know.
that's fine. I mean, it didn't break my heart.
Right.
So.
Well, I did enjoy my Trip message. That you
Yes. Yes.
Love Trip.
He's the best. The absolute best. It was a fun night last night at Lenovo Center. We have the NCAA Tournament coming back to Lenovo Center. We'll get a couple of Duke games there, assuming that they want to be in Raleigh for the first and second rounds. I'm sure they will. Matt Norlander, Ion College Basketball Podcast, CBSSports.com, at Matt Norlander on Twitter, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. I do want to talk actual basketball with you, but you always at this time of the year come up with something that is just super fun to read, whether it's coaches and their musical choice or the biggest stars of I don't know what the time frame was, but it's all within my window of living and working here. And I am amazed at how many of these people I saw in person or with the four who played locally, basically all in the top 10, how many I covered. It is a great list. Doesn't surprise anybody that Zion Williamson is the biggest fascination. We didn't even see a full Zion because he blew out his shoe, and we only had half a season. How you doing?
I'm good. Although, no, you're overstating that. Zion only missed 5 games with the shoe, but he did blow it during UNC, and then it was during February we missed a bunch. But, yeah, that list was a lot of fun to put together. There has been some blowback on Zion, in part because it's Duke, but frankly, I listed players based on their star power. And the fact of the matter is, during his time, 1 year in college, no one became more famous in college basketball on the men's side in the past 25 years than Zion Williamson. Zion is 1, Tyler Hansbrough is 2, J.J. Redick is 3. Those are the only 3 that I actually have a real claim to it. After that, I went Adam Morrison 4, Carmelo Anthony 5. Go on down the list after that. But it was a blast to put together. And for your neck of the woods, Zion and Redick are the only Blue Devils on the list, I think. And then
Grayson Allen.
Grayson. Sorry, how could I forget?
Grayson
Allen is also on the list. More infamous than famous, but also carried a ton of just recognizability. He was there 4 years on a title-winning team. That's how, as you well know, that's how he first gained fame, coming off the bench and playing big in that title game. And so Allen's inside the top 15 as well.
You know, the funny thing is about Grayson Allen, I didn't even realize he was really on the team until on senior night he scored 1,000 points against Wake Forest. I'm like, where was this all year? Matt Norlander is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I don't understand the pushback on Zion, who was fun walking. On top of that, if people want to do this little exercise, and it's not that long ago you can find it, look at the television ratings for Duke basketball that year and compare them to the best television ratings now. I think the best TV ratings for a basketball game all year just happened. Duke and Carolina on Saturday night drew almost 3.5 million. How many games did Zion draw 4 million viewers to? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It would definitely be more. Flag has been a star.
Yeah.
I thought about him. Current players aren't eligible, by the way. Like as I said in the story, you know, what Cooper Flag does in the NCAA tournament will ultimately matter in terms of how famous he actually winds up getting. If Duke loses in the Sweet 16 or Duke wins his national title, that actually will have a difference to his overall level of fame. But if we, and I know you didn't ask this in general, but if we stopped right now and said, okay, you got to put Cooper Flag on this list, I don't think he's in the top 10, but I definitely think he's somewhere in the top 15. He has not ascended to levels that were Zion-like. But having said that, he's still been plenty well known, and he is the most famous person this season in the sport.
Oh, there is no question. We've had conversations here. And by the way, Matt, rules of engagement on this program is you can go wherever you want. It doesn't matter. If you wanted to talk about, music, you can talk about music. I'll play along. But I've seen so many of these players. Here, real quick about Flag, because we've had conversations about Flag versus Zion, and they're different because Zion was one of the great fascinations we've ever seen in college basketball. He's just such a physical freak athlete, a great player, and also an engaging personality that he just encompassed everything. Flag, to me, is just the better basketball player when you get down to it. And to fold this into actual basketball, I think the only player that I've seen at Duke who compares is Grant Hill in terms of complete player. Flagg might be as good a player as we've seen.
I actually disagree. I think Zion Williamson was a better college basketball player than Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg is very, very good. Zion Williamson was more athletic. He was as good of a defender, not quite as good of a passer, obviously a better rebounder, just as productive of a scorer. And player efficiency rating-wise, Zion Williamson still has comfortably the best ever that's ever been tracked. So Flagg's been really, really good. But in college, and maybe Flagg is going to do something over the next 3 weeks that changes my mind, I actually think Zion was better.
Okay. We could go back and forth on that. To me, Flagg he doesn't have the brute athleticism, right? He doesn't have that. Although he has the open court ability. I just think the other parts of his game, and Zion was a great passer and a great defender. They were different defenders. Cooper's game, mid-range, long-range, is just, I think, on a different level. But again, if this is the conversation we're having, it's almost like a Tiger Jack conversation in terms of we're talking about two of the all-time greats. Maybe that was taking it a little bit further than it needed to be. First time I saw Cooper Flagg, I had conversations with people that this could be a Danny Manning situation in terms of carrying a team to a national championship, except that Duke's supporting cast is way better than that Kansas supporting cast, which you were too young. You probably, I don't know if you were born in 1988. Matt Orlander is joining us. How good do you think this Duke team is, and where do you see them going?
Very, very good. They will be a bona fide great team if they can make an Elite Eight run. They are comfortably number one in KenPom. I see them going to Newark because they're going to be they're going to be a 1 seed and they're going to go to the East, and I'll be there as well. I think that they are they have a healthy shot of making the Final Four, but tournament's just too wild of a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be definitive in saying this team's going to make the Final Four. Actually, if you told me Duke lost in the Sweet 16, I would not be surprised by that because the tournament itself is just an entirely different day-to-day experience for these players and a lot of them on this roster have not gone through that. So I will be interested to see how Duke handles that. But yeah, this is a team that has a claim to be the best in the country right now. I don't think it's going to get a real push in the ACC tournament.
No.
It won't get pushed in the first round. It may cruise to the Sweet 16. Then I want to see once we get to the regional semifinals how things stack up and who it's going up against. There's a good chance that it will wind up having St. John's in its region, but St. John's could well be the 2 seed, and those two wouldn't meet until the Elite Eight.
Yeah, and St. John's is one of the great stories, and I want to get to St. John's and Rick Pitino in a minute. How many teams do you think can legitimately win the national championship?
I'll tell you right now. I'm looking at KenPom as I do this. Duke is a yes. Auburn, yes. Houston, yes. Florida, yes. Tennessee, yes. Alabama, yes. Texas Tech, no. Michigan State, no. Gonzaga, no. Iowa State, no. So right now I'm at 6. I can't stop there, though. There's got to be more. St. John's is a yes. That's 7.
Really? Okay.
Maryland is a yes. That's 8. I'm looking through here. 8. Yeah, I'm at 8. That's who can win. One of those 8 teams will win the title. Duke, Auburn, Houston, Florida, Tennessee, Bama, St. John's, or Maryland. One of those 8 will win.
Okay, 8 teams that could win the national championship. I mean, my number was lower, but again, you just never know because anybody can beat anybody. When you look at what is Auburn's Achilles?
I'd say their Achilles is their lack of urgency, which has surfaced in a number of games. But now we're about to go into the postseason, and I don't think that's going to be an issue anymore. A team cannot have a real Achilles and still be beatable. They don't have a glaring weakness. They are the best offense per possession in the sport. They're an elite-level defense. They can beat you 59-54 or 97-91. They can do it either way. They are not an elite three-point shooting team. They're pretty good. They're not an elite interior team. They're pretty good. they're not an elite team defending the perimeter. They're pretty good. They've got, a guy who's the co-player of the year at this point with Flag and Broom. And that's why at CBS Sports, we very specifically do not vote on our player of the year until after the Elite Eight, because what you do in the NCAA tournament should help inform the story of the season. So it'll be interesting to see if Broom and or Flag can break on through and win at least 4 games in the NCAA tournament. But, yeah, Auburn's the real deal, absolutely capable of winning the whole thing, obviously. And I think they're about to just tear through this SEC tournament.
Oh, yeah, they have struggled a little bit. Losses to Texas A&M and Alabama in the closing week. Matt Norlander, CBSSports.com, at Matt Norlander on Twitter. I want to end this by going back to the list, because Steph Curry and that year, that run in 2008, is simply one of the greatest things I have ever seen in college basketball. The beginning of it happened here in Raleigh at Lenovo Center. Now, then, I don't even remember what it was called. I guess RBC Center then. And do you think it was made even more special by the fact that we saw a guy who was just so small and so slight? He was 6'3". He's always 6'3", but that he was just so slight, and his uniform was almost looked like it was his older brother's that he was wearing. It was just one of the most incredible things I'd ever seen, and they nearly made a Final Four until they ran into Kansas.
Yeah, it was incredible. Curry's on the top 10 of my list of the 25 biggest stars, and the reason why was the run was amazing, and then he came back the next year, and so he became, a first-team All-American, led the nation in scoring, all that. They ironically did not make the tournament that year. They went to the NIT, but it was awesome. I mean, that was pre-CBS for me. I remember I was working I was the sports editor of a weekly newspaper in Connecticut, and I remember this. It was March Madness on demand. You could watch it on your computers. Man, I remember watching Curry in the middle of the day at my office, Georgetown game,
yep.
Maybe. That was great stuff. That was, it's kind of like you had to be there. He's become, he's a global superstar. He's one of the 15 best players in the history of the NBA now at this point. But to think back on how that started, Davidson and Curry's ability, like it was talked about going into the tournament, like that's an intriguing team. They're a good team. Bob McKillop's a good coach. And then it hit another level. And, man, they almost made the Final Four. And if they had made the Final Four, I mean, it would be one of the great stories alongside the other ones that we've seen since then. But that was 2 years after George Mason, and there was a lot of talk like, are we really going to get another team like this quickly back to the Final Four? They got really, really close. And, yeah, that's really cool all these years later. And the fact now that he is going to be, an active participant in Davidson's NIL building speaks to where we are. But also it's not a surprise on this level. He really cares for that university, has forever, and maintains really tight friendships. Random thing here. I grew up in Vermont, and there were a pair of sisters that lived 2 houses down from me in my neighborhood. And one of those sisters went on to marry one of Curry's teammates on that team.
Really?
And I've only sporadically kept in touch with this particular woman now. But I remember checking in at some point. This would have been, I guess, 2013, 14, 15, something like that. And yeah, they saw the Currys frequently whenever they could. They don't live in the same part of the country. And anyway, I bring that up to say he has maintained a very close relationship with all the people that he played college with. And it's no surprise to me to see him doing what he's doing at Davidson.
He is he is something else. I thought I thought you were saying something else. Matt Norlander, the piece is great. We can go back and forth on Flag versus Zion, but man, it's going to be a great tournament. There's a ton of great players in it. It's too bad that Rutgers didn't have a good year. It would be fun to see Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper on that stage too. I was kind of surprised that they didn't have a better season in the Big East. So
yeah, that's been a bummer. They're going to set a record, by the way, Adam. There's never been a team with 2 top 5 picks not make the NCAA tournament. Rutgers is going to be the first, which is a bummer.
That is a bummer. Matt Norlander, at Matt Norlander on Twitter. Hey, thank you very much, man. I appreciate your time.
All right. Appreciate you. Talk to you later.
You got it. Matt Norlander, CBSSports.com here on The Adam Gold Show. All right. We're going to come back. We're going to rewind. We'll talk about North Carolina that's getting ready to get underway against Notre Dame at the ACC Tournament. Round number 2, this is their entry into it. Got to be a win, got to be a big win, and I think they need at least 2. Probably, I think they got to win 4-4, basically because of where they fall in the bracket in terms of who their opponents are. And also, it's probably over, maybe for good. And I have a correction to make on me. Next.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
During this sports season, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling to and from athletic events. Wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. Prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. Remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Agriculture drives our local economy. I'm Lee Ivey, director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University, and we are looking for our next generation of leaders. If you want to make a difference and help feed the world, join us at the Ag Institute, where we grow successful graduates, productive futures, and rewarding lifestyles. We offer 2-year degrees and hundreds of internships. Learn more online by searching NC State Ag Institute. Deadline for fall enrollment is June 1st. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
Did you know? Along with keeping their local communities powered, public power line workers are part of a mutual aid network spanning the state and country. Public power crews help their neighbors when natural disasters damage electric systems. And that mutual aid network is one of the reasons public power has the highest reliability rating among energy providers, forming a camaraderie among line workers that's second to none. Interested in joining public power? Learn more about careers at electricities.com.
From the mountains to the coast, there is tremendous pride in North Carolina agriculture. NC Forever Farms is a program recognizing family farms that are protecting precious working lands vital to the future of agriculture. Through permanent agricultural conservation easements, these NC Forever Farms will always be protected from development. Learn more about preserving family farms through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services by visiting ncadfp.org.
Dear North Carolina, for 70 incredible years, you've been by our side. From Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood to the wonders of Antiques Roadshow, from This Old House to NC Weekend, we've explored, learned, and grown together. Because of your support, PBS North Carolina has gone beyond the screen, inspiring, educating, and entertaining in classrooms, at home, and on the go. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
Going to college gives you more career options. You could say it pays for itself, but it might not feel that way in the short term, especially when tuitions do. That's where the FAFSA comes in. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. It's your gateway to money for college. Whether you're seeking scholarships, grants, work-study programs, or loans, it all starts with the FAFSA. So how about it? Make a plan for college and find everything you need for the FAFSA at cfnc.org.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is looking for people age 21 or older to volunteer in long-term care facilities. Community Advisory Committee volunteers help residents and their families advocate for the needs of individuals living in long-term care facilities, such as nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and family care homes. Volunteers must complete orientation and training to become designated and certified representatives of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. Visit ncdhhs.gov/aging to find your county's ombudsman.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? Words like, I'm sorry. Like, can I help? Like, have a good day. And it never hurts to say thank you. Couple those words with a big smile and you've got a good chance to make someone's day. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind to everybody. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
But whenever you say, well, we're not using this as an excuse. No. You are. Whether it's justifiable or not can be a different discussion, but you are.
It's like the equivalent of saying no offense, but ...
Offense coming.
Yeah, get ready for it.
Look out. Here we come with some offense for you.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria, on the ones and twos on a Wednesday afternoon. It is the 5th anniversary of the COVID shutdown.
Yep. And the 113th birthday of Girl Scout cookies, apparently.
113th birthday of Girl Scout cookies.
It's been around a
What
minute.
was the first Girl Scout cookie?
Oh, that's a good question.
It is. It's not a bad question.
I know.
Right. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't the Thin Mints. But
I know. I was gonna say.
What was? There's. That's why Al Gore invented the internet.
Yep.
But so yeah, 5th anniversary of that.
A sugar cookie.
The
That's
the sugar
how fast
cookie?
I can Google.
How about that?
In 1922. Yep. It was a sugar cookie, which is it makes so much sense.
Yeah,
Because
simple
it's plain.
cookie.
Yeah. It's
so
yeah,
simple.
I know.
And nothing wrong. Sure. I like
Oh no, I
good
do like
shortbread.
a good one. Yeah.
Shortbread better
Has
than
to be
sugar
soft. I'm a soft cookie person.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the store bought like Chips Ahoy.
Nah,
no
I
good.
don't need them. Nope.
Right. Those must be dunked.
Yes,
I am very
that
pro
helps.
dunking a cookie in anything.
Yes.
Well, not anything.
Yeah, not a lobster milkshake. People who didn't hear the
can't.
7th inning. I know.
It actually makes me queasy.
Miami's baseball. I
So
just don't know what they're doing.
Don't even bring it up.
It just,
Please, I'm begging you. Don't even bring it up. It's the 1st anniversary, and we'll get to this in the rewind. 1 year ago today, legalized sports wagering in North Carolina was born. We'll get to that in the rewind in a minute. Real quick, the Carolina Hurricanes won last night. It is their 5th consecutive win. It still continues to be a topic of conversation. So I heard an interview, and I'm going to go through the audio sometime today, and we'll actually give it to you tomorrow, where Andy Scott, Mikko Rantanen's agent, went on a radio station somewhere in Canada. I don't know where it was, Toronto, Edmonton, I don't know, and talked about their version of events. Now, as you might expect, their version of events is very... Oh, we were up front all the way. No, we never said this, all of that. So I do think that there are ways where both parties come out and seem reasonable and correct. I don't really know where the absolute truth lies. I don't know that Mikko Rantanen walked in the door with an attitude of, I ain't playing here. Because I don't think that's the case, and I don't really think that's what Rod meant. The truth of the matter is that if that were the case, then the team would have actively tried to move him earlier. But they actively tried to sign him, which says to me that at least initially, while Mikko would have likely said, hey, just so you know, my first inclination was these are the places I would be interested in going. But, of course, he never thought he was going to be traded. Part of me thinks that this is an agent, Andy Scott, who doesn't necessarily need to be painted as a villain here. The agent thinking that there's no way Colorado's ever going to deal him. So, yeah, you could give, sure, we can go to Carolina. But when Rantanen got here, it looked to me like he was making an honest effort to play. I thought he played well, not great, but well. I said this in many, many times on podcasts or whatnot. The player who wasn't playing well was Sebastian Aho at the time. I thought Jackson Blake and Mikko Rantanen looked like they had good chemistry. Aho wasn't playing well. After Four Nations is when I think everything kind of turned for the worse. And I think that was the time where Carolina really started to actively seek, all right, we got to get out of this. I think they made one more run at keeping him, and then they realized it's not going to work, so we're going to get out of this. Rantanen, I think, is being disingenuous when he says, I made my decision about a week before the trade deadline. I mean, he might have told them definitively, but if you go back and you watch the games, it seemed to me like Mikko made his decision subconsciously or otherwise.
Yes.
Well before.
Big
it just
time.
wasn't playing the same way.
No.
And that's fine. The Hurricanes started winning these games anyway. And they have now won 5 in a row, and the first 3 of those were with Rantanen. My one criticism of the way this was handled would be, shouldn't have played him against Boston because you jeopardized the asset. If he gets hurt in the Boston game, you don't get Logan Stankoven. Maybe you don't. And 2 first-round picks and 2 third-round picks. But for people who think that if Rantanen stayed here and didn't play well, he was going to damage his value, no. Because you have how many years of track record of him being a 1.2 points per game player, especially in the playoffs. That was ready-made. That was dyed in the wool. So everything that Rantanen was going to get a massive contract, whether or not he scored another goal or another point for the Hurricanes, he was going to get a massive contract when the season ended. I think Rantanen did let him know, look, I'm not going to sign here, and let's do the best we can. Would he have stayed here for the rest of the season? I don't think it was in anybody's best interest. So in many ways, maybe that's where Carolina's leverage went, but I think Carolina did a fairly good job of recouping assets. Could it have been better? Maybe. But I think they did a pretty good job, and I think, and I said this before, I give Eric Tulsky and company credit for trying. Didn't work out in the end, and I give him credit for scrambling to the point where the return isn't awful. Are they better than they were, middle of January? No, they're not. They're not better than they were in the middle of January. Are they dramatically worse? No, they're not. The advantage that Necas and Drury have is that one of them is a center and the other is a dynamic offensive piece. What Carolina has in Logan Stankoven and Taylor Hall are 2, I think, very good players. Stankoven is young. Hall is not, but Hall still has a lot of skill and speed and a big body. But they're not better than they were with Necas and Drury. And for what you can be mad at that if you want, but what I do see now is a team that is starting to get to its game, which, if we are being honest, we have not seen on a consistent basis all year. All year we haven't seen it. And now we're finally seeing it. Because it was that way at the start of this 5-game winning streak. It started to show up. I actually think they played a really good game. The first game was Buffalo. They scored 3 goals in 10 minutes against Buffalo. And I actually didn't think they were great offensively the rest of the way, but they were excellent defensively the rest of the way in that game. The second game was they lost to Edmonton. They completely shut down McDavid and Draisaitl and gave up 2 goals in 60 minutes. Couldn't score. But I don't know if they were the better team, but they certainly weren't outplayed by the Edmonton Oilers. After that was Calgary. Dominated Calgary. Dominated them. Right? Then they went to Detroit. Dominated the Red Wings. They're having goal-scoring issues. Came back, played Boston. That was the last game before the trade deadline. They were awful, and Pyotr Kochetkov stole the game. At that point, they were just exhausted from all the conversation. But in the last 2, Winnipeg, best team in the league. Tampa, a team that had gone 11 1-2 in their last 14 games. One regulation loss in their last 14 games was absolutely clicking on all cylinders and added to the group and have the best goaltender, one of the best goaltenders in the history of the league, and Andrei Vasilevsky, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, Carolina was the better team again. Pyotr Kochekhov's playing well. Defense is playing well. Still have some issues offensively, and I will give you two stats here that are a little mind-blowing, and then we'll rewind. The first stat is this. I said this earlier, but if you weren't listening earlier, these numbers will blow you away. Since the calendar turned to 2025, the Hurricanes have 6 power play goals, and they have 6 shorthanded goals, right? That's not even the stat I'm getting to here, right? The 6 power play goals came on 81 attempts, 81 times on the power play, 7.4%. The 6 shorthanded goals came in 75 tries, 8%. So the Hurricanes have a better percentage of scoring goals while shorthanded than when on the power play in 2025.
Yikes. I know. It's like they're diamonds. They just work better under pressure.
I'm just blown away by that. Here's the next one. For the first time in 3 months, since December 15th and 17th, the Hurricanes scored at least 4 goals in consecutive games. 3 months. And yet, they're 17 games over NHL 500.
Right.
It's coming. The offense will come back, at least to a certain extent. It can't be this bad forever. The offense will come back. When it does, I think you'll see a little bit more of a dangerous element to the Hurricanes.
I mean, I've been optimistic after watching these last 2 games, especially last night. So once these guys have been here for, I don't know, like a week, we'll see how it goes.
Tons of energy. They need Andrei Svechnikov to come back and be better. They need a better offensive version of Sebastian Aho, who still plays really well, does all the things you need in all areas of the game. But his offense has just been kind of okay for the most part this season. But you got Jarvis, and that's good. And let's rewind. Let me start with basketball, and then we'll get to the first year, the 1 year anniversary of gambling on sports in the state of North Carolina. Sports wagering is what we call it. Chip Patterson, CBSSports.com. All right. I don't think North Carolina winning the 1 game against Duke is enough. I think they have to win all 4 to catch a bid. Chip Patterson, your thoughts?
I don't. And I honestly think there is even a path that exists for win against Notre Dame, win against Wake Forest, lose to Duke, and still find yourself as the very last team in the NCAA tournament playing out in Dayton. Now, some of that is going to start later today, because what you would basically need is you would need one-and-done showing from Ohio State, a one-and-done showing from Baylor, a one-and-done showing from Xavier. If all of these other teams fail to do anything, and then you are able to string together a couple of wins, then it is possible that the selection committee, in a process that is subjective, could end up looking at all of these flawed resumes and decide that North Carolina, with not a lot bad outside of the Stanford home loss, does deserve a crack at it. Again, there's nothing that is glorious, and they're not going to hang a banner in the Smith Center about the NCAA tournament appearance in the first 4. But, I think that a win against Duke does put them over the edge because it separates them from these other tournament teams. Oh, West Virginia, if they were to go one and done and lose to Colorado, that's another one. But, again, North Carolina, you beat Notre Dame, you beat Wake Forest, and then if all the chaos has has, fallen apart around you, there may still be a path to end up being the last team in the tournament. I would just recommend that you just try to avoid a 3-game sweep against the Blue Devils and definitely avoid losing to a Notre Dame team that outplayed you and nearly beat you on the final possession of the game earlier this year.
Should have beaten North Carolina in that game, but regardless. Because they don't have an opportunity to win a legitimately good game against the team that is likely going to be in the field before Duke, I can't imagine North Carolina getting a bid without beating Duke. If you told me that they beat Duke and that's enough, I'll disagree, but I can understand it. I don't see a path now where Carolina loses to Duke and gets in with one win in 35 games against teams that are going to be playing in this tournament. I just don't see that. Because we would never accept that from a mid-major team, and that is what their profile looks like. The truth of the matter is that they have 6 wins all season against teams in the top 100 of the net. 6! That's it! Even the quad 2 wins that they've got are pretty tame. So, I just don't foresee them getting in without doing something of note during the course of the season. And, I mean, that's just that's just the way it has fallen. The league wasn't good enough. And I told you back in November, as the ACC was getting it handed to them by the SEC, I told you that all of these losses, they all matter. Because now the ACC's profile is so bad. Again, bad is relative. It looks very, Missouri Valley-ish.
Right. Well, anyone keeping track of the score right now, it's 17-5, UNC's up.
Yeah,
so.
They're going to crush Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Because they should.
It's 13.
They should crush Notre Dame.
46 in the first half.
Yeah, they should crush Notre Dame, and they should, honestly, they need to beat Wake Forest badly. But they have to beat Duke to me to have a chance. All right. 1 year ago today, we were allowed to wager on sports in the state of North Carolina on our phones. And we talked to Brad Senkiw from Covers.com. He's the news editor there. I asked him how he thinks it's going.
Yeah, Adam, I would classify it as a rousing success. I think North Carolina, the way they went about integrating sports betting into the state, the way they went about regulating it, creating the necessary resources to get it in place, the way they worked with the operators like FanDuel and DraftKings and BetMGM and all of those 8 who came into the state, the way it all went, I think North Carolina did it and launched it and then had success after about as well as you could ask for. I mean, I think there haven't been a whole lot of issues. I've covered the state on a regular basis with what's going on since legislation was being passed a year and a half ago or whatever now. So it really has been done the right way. And I think North Carolina maybe leaves kind of a blueprint for some other states when they do get it. I know Missouri just legalized it in this past November during election season, and they're probably going to look to North Carolina like North Carolina looked to some other states to say, hey, how did you do it? What was the right way to handle this, and this? I think North Carolina is a model for the way that states handle and introduce sports betting, and then the response, the amount of people that have wagered, the amount of dollars that have wagered. You're talking about $6.6 billion has been bet in the state of North Carolina since last March 11th. It's pretty crazy.
It is amazing. Makes you wonder why it took this long. But in our conversation, which you can find at the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, there are 11 states that still have not passed legislation to allow their citizens to do this.
I'm surprised North Carolina beat them to it, actually.
Yeah, we thought, we had to wait an extra year because of dumb.
Yes.
Arguments against it just don't really make sense. The daddy state is unfortunately part of us, but We should be allowed to do this, and we are. It comes with pitfalls like everything else. Alcohol has pitfalls, I'm told. So it's good for the state, good for the state's economy. Victoria, thank you very much. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Go Heels. Kill 'em.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary, the man who invented the no closing cost mortgage. He did that in 1987. He saw the future in 1987. I don't know if he was reading palms or tea leaves or just playing lucky numbers. What I do know is that Gordon realized that there would be a time where people would not want to pay closing costs and still get a great mortgage rate because they knew that the rates were going to come down. We're still in that time, people. The rates will drop. They have dropped about a half point in the last month. So if you paid fees to get what you thought or what you were told was going to be this, they're not going any lower. Well, they've gone lower and they'll continue to go lower. So don't ever pay closing costs. Always have the freedom to refinance free of charge when the rates come down. That's the game. Miller Lending, Gordon Miller invented this process a long time ago. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary since 1996. They are an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 250-2146.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before. Oh, yeah! Big money!